is life. It's just something like complexity, right? Because I think once you have like a complex enough system that can evolve in complex ways, there's good reasons to think that something like life evolving isn't surprising, right? So the only puzzle left is like, why is the universe like complex? Why isn't it as simple as like like a single black hole, right? Or like 5 protons dancing around? And I do think it's so first of all, like even and so there, like you look at like the argument that physicists have given for like why they find it surprising that the constants of the standard model have the values that they do, and that like it's possible that like they could have been otherwise. I sort of concede that at least in an epistemic sense they could have done things like I don't know. Well, like so, I think the most likely explanation is like effects, right? That these values that are fixed for the universe that we observe actually vary across like some sort of metaphysical spaces of universes or like bubble universes and so on. And we just happen to like inhabit the one that's like suitable for life. So basically I'm saying like I think an anthropic kind of explanation is the most likely one. And there's independent reasons to believe that that's true. And then finally, like if you think that's not possible, right? If you feel like ignore that possibility, then I would say that look, I think all these sort of stalking horse kind of objections do actually work to block an inference to a god. Like there might be some reason to think there's some sort of teleological explanation, right? That the universe has some mysterious. There must be some principle explaining dispositional explanation, right? Meaning like it's the laws of physics, and then there's this additional sort of metaphysical principle saying something like the universe just has a tendency or a disposition to have like complex states, right? Or let's say life-sustaining states.
That doesn't explain what God is, though, right? God is the fundamental principle. Hold on. God is the fundamental principle. 1 second. Let me clean off.
Yeah. Look, your response
is, how can we even be very confident that the constants are very fine-tuned if we've never tweaked them, so we don't know how they interrelate to each other, and then what would actually happen if they changed? So those would be my two.
Okay, let me answer the second one first. Like, I think the idea is that we have we're thinking about we're sort of reasoning about the possible values the constants can have epistemically, right? Like, even if the constants are like brute facts that can't be changed in any metaphysical sense, right? Those brute facts included otherwise, right? And so then you like search around for an explanation for why they have exactly those values, right? And then you should prefer explanations, right, that have like sort of simpler hypotheses, right? Like that God intended it to be that way, or like there's like some simpler metaphysical principle from which like you can actually derive the value of those constants, things like that. You don't need to necessarily like tinker with the constants to know whether they can be changed or not.
And then what about the other point about the actually if they're fine-tuned, it would be evidence of naturalism?
Yeah, I've heard like this is like there's this divine fine-tuning or like electrons and love argument. And I think that it does do something, right, to defeat the likelihood of theism being the best explanation, right? Because you can't say that, why this universe? Why not like idealism? Seems like.
Well, no. That's not the point of that. The point is like, okay, well, suppose God has a big physical universe, like make any physical universe, and he could instantiate life in any universe regardless of its constant parameters, right? So the idea is like, of the sorts of universes you might find yourself in on theism, right? It's actually pretty unlikely that you're going to end up in the one that looks just like naturalism could be true, right? Whereas like on naturalism, yeah, that is the one you strongly expect yourself to be in if you exist.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of, I was trying to, I thought I was addressing, right? But like, I think, I don't know, that seems too much. If you're saying actually literally that actually strongly, I just think then you're restating the case for naturalism, right? Which is that it's the best explanation for the data is the one that like just explains everything.
The point is that it seems kind of implausible that God would put us in a universe where it's like, what just happens to look like naturalism might still be the case. right? Given there's all these other universes he could have put us in, where we would almost like immediately know that like our existence is a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, there's like one thing. I mean, I think I mostly agree with that, but I will say that there is like this epistemic distance objection, right? That I think actually sort of makes sense. So the idea is that, like, you know, God's intentions are to like create life and so on, but He doesn't necessarily want life to like want living things
to be obvious. No, I've heard this too, and in fact, like I go through like all this stuff in that blog post. Although I'm not strictly making this argument in that blog post, but like I go through that where it's like, okay, well maybe there's like this epistemic value or aesthetic value or whatever. The point is that like, you know, even though we would have evidence for a miracle if we were in a quote unquote non-life permitting universe, it wouldn't like entail theism. It could be some other kind of supernatural, you know, metaphysics that explains that, right? So it's like, you know, even if God wants there to be like some epistemic distance or something, you know, he can still have that. It's still going to be strange that he achieves epistemic distance by making the world look like naturalism specifically might be true. You see what I'm saying? So it's like naturalism isn't the only other option from theism.
I think it depends on what other options are and whether, like obviously you can have different laws of physics, right? You can even have things like a dualist substance that obeys some sort of regularities, and we can sort of, you know, empirically investigate, and okay, so dualism ends up being true, but like, you know, that's just in that world, that's just what we would end up calling quote unquote naturalism, right? But
I'm not quite sure what that's doing. You know,
I think
the point is what I'm saying is like we could get like what you're saying is, hey, if we were in a non-life permitting universe, that would like be really, really good evidence against naturalism. Right? And what I'm saying is that like, yeah, it would, but if God is just trying to maintain epistemic distance so that like theism isn't obvious, right? Naturalism isn't the only alternative, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's still kind of odd that he would make it look like naturalism might be true, right? You see, like he could make it obvious that naturalism is false without making it obvious that God exists.
Well, yeah, but like I'm saying, there's no real the difference between a world where like naturalism is false in the sense of like, you know, okay, there's like some, you know, dualism about the mind. Like the only kind of like symmetry breakers are between worlds where like there are phenomena where the only possible explanation is like intentional, like some intentional agent like intervening, right? If like there are things happening,
but that's still not enough for theism. Even if that were true, it's not enough for theism. But it just has to be like, okay, so if we were in a non-life permitting universe, then we would know naturalism was false, or at least we would strongly disconfirm naturalism, right? But that doesn't mean that, you know, theism or classical theism is therefore obvious.
Sure, but at least there is at least in those worlds, you know, there is like a stronger inference God, right, than in the comic book.
Yeah, exactly. And that is exactly why finding ourselves in a life permitting universe is not evidence for God.
Well, no, but like, so I'm trying to get to the thread of this. So like, yes, I think I agree with you, like your general principle. I'm just saying like I mean, that's only with respect to like worlds where there are like clear inferences to intention explanation, right? Not to like worlds that are different in the sense of just other laws of physics or like metaphysical laws that have regularities that don't like seem to, you know, warrant intentional intervention. Yeah, I think I have to go. But
with fine tuning, we're just talking about like permitting constants and parameters, given the formula laws and stuff. Like that's what we're considering. Is we're like just theism to make that more likely. No.
Hello, I've come to contribute to this cancerous storm of repetition and redundancy. People repeating their assumptions for years. It's like Sully says the same shit every room over and over and over again. So I've come to help make it even more toxic, more cancerous, more revolting by simply saying the more you think, the more you speak, the further from the truth you're gonna get. Hello?
That's not Rich. That's someone else. It's John Kitover. John Kitover and her people.
Would you like to propose a new topic, Universe?
Talk about Mortal Kombat Universe.
I'm just saying, if you've never jerked off and taken a nap or eaten a cheese pizza or had a beer or smoked a joint, well, you haven't lived yet till you read a book. And then you come on Clubhouse and you waste all your time talking and repeating your assumptions over and over again. It's the same show every time. Don't you guys see it? I don't think you see it because I record it all and I observe it. Some of you don't even have ears anymore. Did your ears fall off, Sully? Did your ears fall off from your... Oh, they did fall off. Okay. Well...
Hello. How are you? Oh, that was a bit much. Anyone got a non-schizophrenic point to make?
Well, for the record, he was kind of telling the truth, man. Like, it is kind of boring to hear people talk about the same stuff over and over again.
I'll repeat my question. Wow.
Got them good. Got them real good. Got them real good.
All of our discussions here might in some way prove what's going on in the world today. I don't think they do.
Of course you don't, Frenchie, because you're a dumb twat. And everybody actually hates you. The fact that you're a fucking mod is impossible. Well, it's not, because it's indicative of the world that we live in today. Retards run the world. Ours run the world. Hello? Hello?
Oh, he got out, man.
Just taking one of his, 3-day naps. He naps every 3 days and then comes back.
Hey, Sully, what's your gamer tag? Like, Xbox?
Quantum Zone 9. Same as my Discord version.
You get on Discord? See, I got a Discord. So I'm gonna hop on Call of Duty Warzone. I'm gonna play Warzone. You wanna join? We're going to Nuketown.
Bro, we saw I tried to talk about you guys that follow Jacob Frank followers and shit.
Jacob Frank?
Yeah, that's really that's really our orders. Jacob Frank and that little Zebby guy.
I don't know who those people are, sorry.
You don't know the whole Jewish history. Jacob
I
Frank.
don't know every Jew that ever lived.
These are the people that consider themselves the Jewish messiahs back in the 1600s, and then you have Jake, and then first it was that Zemi guy, and then the Turkish people arrested his ass and made him convert to Islam. They asked him, either we kill you or you convert to Islam. He converted to Islam. He was like a Jewish messiah, and all the people believed him, and he had the most taboo beliefs and satanic bullshit, and all these people followed him. That's what they made him. They made him convert. Yeah, they made him convert to Islam. It was 1666, 1666, and then they made him convert to Islam. Then a century later, Jacob Frank comes along and say, "I'm the reincarnation of that nigga."
Yeah.
And basically, these are Jewish people, and then. The most
religious authorities, the Jewish community excommunicated Frank and his followers due to his heretical doctrines. Yeah.
Now, see, so they had to do that because he had followers, and that's when you get why we say this shit. Because these followers, they didn't just stop believing him. They just kept on doing shit in secret. People just stop believing their fucking leader because their leader gets killed.
So Jacob said that he was not. He was excommunicated by the Jews.
Let me tell you this.
are we doing this? What? I thought we were talking.
Listen.
He reversed
I thought
the
this was
truth.
not an interesting topic to move on from.
Meant I'll be sane.
We're not listening to you, just playing recording, sorry.
Hey, Sully, so, what you said, what was your, Discord again? Mine is,
Put it in the chat.
yeah, it's Mystery Evaluator 2626. Yeah, we actually talk about verse battles. Yeah, just to have the time go by.
Hold on, why did I get kicked? Because I'm documenting all the.
Because we don't hear you play recordings, that's
Also,
why.
y'all
Don't bring him even up. Oh my God, just no. People have no desire to talk to intelligent people. Because you know what?
No one.
Why would you not want to talk to smarter
Can
people?
I have
Please
can I have
silence.
I would kick half the people off this.
can I have a same mod? Can I have a same mod that has integrity? Yo, Sully, can I talk to you real quick? Let me ask you a question, Sully. And I'll leave the room after this. So, if I make a
No, just move down immediately.
Sully, if I make a claim,
You're a fucking retard,
and
bro.
I just grab the sources to prove this claim,
Alright, I'm just gonna ask you random questions.
why
They're
is it
retarded.
that I get kicked?
I just want to see if you're
for
dumb or
making
not.
these claims?
When did William the Conqueror invade England? What year did that happen?
Scared of the truth.
When did William the Conqueror invade England?
Well, how about you just talk about it instead of playing clips or whatever?
Why would you want to do this, Sully?
So Jacob Frank, he was like a Jewish messiah back in the day, and all his teachings were basically the reverse of what the true teachings of Judaism is and all of that, right? So he was telling people to have sex, eat a lot, all types of shit, man. And pedophilia shit, that's the origins of this shit, right? And look at this, right? And if you want to ask for proof, well, I was saying that and I got kicked. But I'm just going to tell it how it is. So
Yeah,
this
he's
is
not.
the origins of all the taboo shit. Now, what did they do? They just climbed up the rankings and they got kicked out of a lot of places, right? Because nobody was fucking with that evil shit. Nobody was fucking with that shit. So that's why we tell y'all,
Okay,
some of these Jewish people.
yeah, okay, I'm actually tired of this.
It's as simple as Mein Kampf.
Yeah. You know, Jews bad is not very.
Oh, now you're tired of it. Oh, I'm glad. Oh my God.
Come on, let's hear it out.
I'm sorry, I'm so fucking.
Hours ago, and you thought you had to find
Stop doing
Excellent
that.
child act. It's very.
Fucking playing the refs. It's really
Yeah,
not.
I also give for me. You're a excellent child act.
You think we should hear from his ex-Nazis? Okay, so you'd rather.
Lots of you.
Which is more annoying? A Nazi spreading libel or my petulant child?
You want to go like,
What?
if
You
I
retard.
pick the Nazi or the petulant child, and I pick the petulant child.
Yeah, which one is
I
more
know,
annoying?
Sam, I pick the petulant child over the Nazi.
Say, both of you. That's not an answer to my question.
You're still a petulant child.
Okay, so then that's why I was trying to stop the Nazi by being the petulant child. Yes, I am. But that means I'm trying to stop the annoying than the Nazi. So you should support it because it's a lesser evil. So shut the fuck up, Exen.
Hello, moderators. I just want to say that anti-Semite you
You Sully, they meant to move me down. Because Sully, all I'm doing is sharing his friends. I really don't have anything.
Mike, you all know what you said because Jews bad.
No, it's deep. Here's the thing.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
You're cutting me
That's
off.
not deeper than that. You're actually quite a shallow person. I just don't everyone does. Please.
It's just an opinion.
It's just opinion. Yeah, opinion sucks.
You have
Cat, you shut the fuck up, you worthless retard. Goes away. Go away.
Look at the Jewish man.
Look at
the
who stutters.
On three.
Yeah, there's all kinds of bad people all around the world. You know, they say about the Christians' crusade, they're killing a lot of people. So, in the name of Christianity, you know, I used to hear that a lot from the Black Hebrew Israelites. So they say, if you are a Christian, you are a bad person because that happened. So, I mean, people do.
Does anybody know what the debate is tonight? In John Ehrlichman and Piper.
No way.
The one debate I refer to Piper in. Jesus
That's tonight? Or it could be tonight?
I think so. It's supposed to be Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time.
Okay.
Sorry. It's
Gavin?
tomorrow. I'm kind of. Okay, isn't it Wednesday?
I don't know why.
Oh, they're debating Gavin? That's funny.
Yeah.
It's like your fourth time.
Hang on.
At this point.
This is not even real.
Gavin's I love Gavin.
Just to give you guys heads
I
up.
wonder how Reggie feels about it.
Just to give you guys heads up, the Piper is about to be decimated.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin's never lost.
Gavin is legally under oath said that he has brain damage, so this was legally.
Yeah, just think how embarrassing it is.
Yeah, Piper loses to that. This is a win-win.
You can't do everything they do to Piper.
What's the topic? What's the topic?
This is true.
No games.
It's got to feel like he knows a lot more than Gavin about physical. Something.
Yeah, you don't even know what the holographic principle is, so that shows how much you know.
Well, that doesn't change the fact that that's the thing Gavin talks about all the time, which was my claim.
Holographic principle just says we're wrong that there's a physical universe which exists, right? Physicalism can't be true if the holographic principle is correct.
Yeah.
Well,
The problem is that Gavin just reads from like a 10-page rather than explain it in his own words.
Oh my god. Well, what about the rebuttal? Do they have like a back and forth?
I think it's going to be a 15-minute opening statement, 20 minutes of cross-exam, and then opening dialogue for like half an hour, and then 5-minute closing statements.
Mark, did you hear? Formal debate between Gavin and Piper tonight.
it will be blood.
It might also just be really boring.
Yeah, probably.
Piper's demise will last.
You know what? They're remaking another Street Fighter.
See, that sounds interesting.
And it looks a lot better.
Are you good?
Yeah, like I was confused. Like back in the 90s, I thought Ryu was a American guy. I didn't know he was Japanese. Yeah,
Because the trailer came out.
Oh my god.
yes, man, and they got some.
Looks good. They're
New
competing with
things.
Mortal Kombat. It's Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. The 90s all over again.
Oh, yeah, freaking. I don't know what happened, but freaking.
How did it not go Ryu? Well, like the finish him, get over here, all that stuff is like. What's that famous thing from Hadouken?
They didn't necessarily have the best sound card. It was like they had iconic
Hadouken.
And they got Hadouken. Everyone knows Hadouken. Hadouken.
Hadouken.
Yeah,
And Chun Li with crazy thing. Like they had good visuals. They had
Imagine
good
being
sound effects.
Popular.
And Blanca, did you see in the trailer they had a freaking
fucking Blanca. You gotta see how they pull off a Blanca. That's ridiculous.
Wait, Blanca was a Street Fighter? She was a
He was Street Fighter, right? He was the one monster guy they had.
music.
Crazy Russian.
But you know, I saw the effects inside. It didn't look. I know what they were trying to do, but like,
Yeah, they're trying to match the video game aesthetics with a lot of iconic shots. And like, what cinema's for? Yeah, let's see how they do.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool, but I mean, it's like they're just doing it too much. Like, you know, he don't gotta jump all the way up in the air to do the Hadouken.
Listen, if it looks good, then all is good.
I'm counting on it to be better than the last Street Fighter. You know, the last.
Right, that one's kind of an embarrassment. It's got campy charm to it.
You know, I can't believe they put Robin Shaw. And I'm like, why would they do that? Oh my goodness, man. They making this one look more, you know. See, that's the thing about the video game adaptation films. Like, you know, a lot of these games back in the 90s didn't have, of course, they didn't have no story to them. So, you know.
Right.
That's why it's so hard.
They're different art forms. That's why there's like a bit of a stereotype of cinema failing to adapt video games. They're good with books or novels or articles or history or old plays. They're good with plays, but like video games, it doesn't translate well yet. And most times they try.
Yeah, because I know the Mortal Kombat, the first Mortal Kombat movie they did was like, I think it was like in the early 1992. Yeah, around 1992 or 98. I might be wrong. Nope, it was 1999. Yeah, it was the late.
Oh, 99. I didn't realize it was that late. So it came out the same year as The Matrix? Really? You sure?
No, because The Matrix.
That feels wrong.
Yeah, The Matrix came out in like 2000.
The Matrix one came out 99, positive.
Who did?
That one I know came out 99.
No, The Matrix came out in 2000. No, The Matrix came out in 2000.
No, it's 99. It's cool to see it. I remember it vividly. The thing is, you probably remember it in 2000 because it wasn't really popular. It didn't take off for a while. 99.
No, because they didn't have HD in the 90s.
Came out 99. I would definitely have.
Yeah. In 99, they didn't have high definition. They got high definition like in what, 2000, yeah.
We're all arguing
No,
through super
came out
doesn't have the answers to all of our questions.
Oh yeah, at the time. You could just look it up. I'm looking at it. Do you think it's terrible that Muslims will kick you out of the room for saying that a woman's deficient in mind, even though it's in their scripture? Yeah, it's crazy. Some ladies came off, was a mod, started screaming at me, and I said, I understand that you can't track the conversation because you're deficient in mind. And she kicked me out. I'm like, literally quote their shit to you. It's not in the scripture. Yeah, I mean, it's in the hadith. Yeah, it is hadith. And hadith, the group said by Muhammad that you have to accept the words of the Sahabas. And if it's Sahih rated strong chain of narration, then you have to accept it. So, yes. It is equivalent to scripture.
Said it was in the scripture, and it's not in the scripture.
It is scripture. It's scripture when it's equivalent to scripture when Muhammad says you accept the words of Sahaba.
True. I agree with you.
Yes, I know.
As a woman.
Yes, the women are deficient in mind. It could have just said women are like the bell curve says otherwise. I mean, there's more at the outliers on the left and right for men, but like you can say women are more emotional. That's like it.
No, you include anger as an
You can say when a woman's on her rags and she's bleeding out of her bag, then women are more
You
emotional.
might not.
They're rational, neurotic.
Yeah, men are
What else can I say about women?
angrier than women, therefore they're more emotional. Because
I think
anger
my
is an emotion.
Wait, I'm only talking about biological women who can have their periods.
Yeah, and I'm talking about. Do you think anger
That's
is
not
an
real
emotion? Do you think anger is an emotion?
Like Sasha and Piper are not real women.
Josh, do you think anger is an
I
emotion?
didn't mean it, bitch.
would you say?
So mean, bro.
No, what's wrong with you? Darkest is accurate. I can't wait till like Sasha and fucking Piper die, and then they excavate their bones, and they're like, "Oh, this is a biological."
Do you think they think that? Oh, Scott. Right. All right.
Thank you. He's a lunatic.
There's a lot. We've had a lot of lunatics today.
I know. What did I get up to? Who's yours?
Yeah, you think it was a full moon?
You guys let Agamemnon get away with saying some bullshit about the holographic crystal.
What does he say?
Full moon's not for another 9 days. I know. So why are all the crazies out now, Rabbi?
That is
How the hell do I know?
physicalism.
It's people.
I don't know. At least there's some order in this room. Like when it was really bad when I got in here.
Did you figure out what objective means, Sam? Independent of minds. Yeah, I think that's a stupid answer. I think that's a dumb answer.
Okay, we don't have
Because humans made that definition, it's not objective.
No, I would say it's our subjective definition of objectivity, no? Yeah, that's exactly right. We decide what's objective. Right?
We don't decide what's objective. We make a definition and then see
Who decides what's objective then? Who's the judge?
My God, Caleb, you know
Here's what I think actually, Sam. Right? I think it's like this. When I'm talking about, look, a mountain exists whether or not anyone sees it, right? That we might say objective. But the way we describe it is stance dependent, right? And requires an agreement and so therefore the agreement will be what we call objective in that sense.
What's wrong?
No?
There's certainly
wild
whether they're true or false depends on people's attitudes about whether they're true or false, right? And those are subjective or stance-dependent propositions, right? And that's it's kind of this like stance-dependence, mind independence, whatever. Those definitions are confusing.
Yeah, try this sentence. Let's see if you agree with this. Even if objective truths are stance independent in themselves, we might say like metaphysically, our ability to identify, describe, and understand them is always stance dependent. You might call that epistemically.
No, I wouldn't say it that way.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, but it's just kind of I think it is a decent concept.
it's not how he's using it. You know, Caleb, who else had a huge problem with objectivity and subjectivity? Normal. Because he was arguing for beauty is objective. It took a few hours, but he kept to himself.
No, I mean, again, like if you want to say that there are some kind of standards of beauty, those would be decided upon.
No, Etu, not you. You can't be doing this, Caleb. This has to be a Jewish thing.
Duh.
Wouldn't you say that like Citizen Kane is objectively more beautiful than Dude, Where's My Car?
Dude, Where's My movie I ever walked out of?
I prefer the novel. It's a lot better.
it's very sad.
Yeah, this is starting to sound like, you talk about trans or gay people so much, you must be secretly gay or trans loving.
But that's not a your generation.
That's what this is starting to sound
No. It's starting to sound like that from I would say.
Did you guys talk about how
Tronic versus on the highway? Thank you.
were being
No,
racist?
that's not true. Wait, I have something to add. It's important, okay? There was this chick, got her man on Grindr, talking to trannies, okay? And so she asked the man what he was doing, and he said he was going to rob them. And so my question is, what's worse? Your man's robbing the trannies or meeting up with them to sleep with them?
I think it's worse that you believe that he was going to rob them. Because I don't think that is what is the masculine thing to say, but it doesn't, I would never believe that doesn't make sense. I totally agree with it wrong, but you choosing to rob the trainee that you're flirting with to get, no, that man is interested in cheating. That's what somebody said. Yeah, it's what somebody said earlier. I definitely, I definitely think you have a point there. There's two types of people, right? There's the ones that are going out and trying to look like these images of men that men are pushing forward, like that's what I'm talking about. But then there's the people that see this and are like, fuck you. Like at the end of the day, it's the reality that the woman body, and that I think naturally as is, these women with rightly on the proper their curves, not these ridiculously created curves. Like it's typical that is, oh my god, the ant bodies is the real woman's body. We got guys out here that are saying they don't literally, and you say, how do we know? Because like they say it. At this point, women, we have such power that we can just sit on our ass, sit back and listen. Why? Because they're gonna tell you. They're telling you they don't like women.
Yeah.
They're telling you we can't say it like that because he knows he's prescribed to not.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What are you making, an omelet this morning?
Are you talking to me or are you talking to someone on Clownhouse?
No, I just had to turn the volume down on the other phone.
I'm covering some more stories and done some border fights and police reports and all that kind of stuff. The reason I'm calling you is, you actually think the elections are real?
What was that?
You actually believe the elections are real?
No, I think that like the database somehow is using like the registration roll. Like you said, it's like programmatic. It's like they're using software. Yeah.
Now they use a centralized program, and they're like, just like it's the art of fraud. Because you have to kind of make it look cool, and like, it doesn't look natural if you get 0 votes, right? Because you would have voted for yourself. And so I think it's just a total computer election program.
I don't know. My numbers seem real to me though, and Joe's at 900. Because, well, actually, if you look.
Maybe going to be more or less, and that's just a guess. I think it's in my heart. No one. I only told like 5 people I was right. How the fuck did I get 126 votes? I didn't tell you I was running. I tweeted up like after the election.
Yeah, you got thousands of followers though. That's
what?
You got thousands of followers in Cook County.
9% vote.
But the one
50% of those are Democrat Party.
The Max Solomon one is like the giveaway though. There's no way. No way. No way.
Freaking way. No, but I just know from like, because I used to cook numbers like when I was a Democrat operative in 2007, and statute of limitations, I could talk about it. But that's kind of the art. And like we were faking polls, and you gotta like, you can't, if we're faking poll for Dan Seals in this case, and I want to show that he was running in a primary against blank on the girl's name, Julie Amos. He wants to show that he's up by like 6%. If I said the polling says he's up 90 to 10, that doesn't look believable. Everyone's like, what the heck? It's like it's reverse. And so you intentionally try to get it close. And if you show that like in the Max Solomon case that 20,000 people were smart enough to write in
a max, but none of them chose me, that just looks bad. So I think they threw me 126 to just the artistically it makes more sense. And same with you and Jolly. I think your write-in is to prove that Jolly are legit. And we might have gotten somewhere, like the way I think the program works is they say here's the number, because you can do this electronically. And you say here's what we want the results to be. If the result, because you're feeding the shit into the machine, like if the results are too far out of bounds, it then start doing voter switch. That's a very easy thing to program. Say, hey, we need the outcome to be 55-45, margin of error 3%. If your tabulations are too far out of bounds, start doing switches. And I think that shit happens out of sight. There's actually hack on election day. You have to have someone like at these schoolhouses with a laptop and internet connection and white vans. I don't think that's happening. I do think there is some manual voter fraud. Because when I voted, and when you were an election judge, this time I fucked up when I was doing the write-in. I forgot to write in Joe or something, I forgot. So I asked for another ballot. And they're like, sure. And they're all just like, kids, lazy, don't care. And I could have grabbed a whole stack. And I could have had someone like you, or me, be an election judge, and just every time someone's not looking, just launder into ballots. No one would know. But, yeah. But there's an Aaron Delmar blackmail scandal. I'm not sure if we talked about that. That's my next article.
So there's supposedly 600,000 plus voters in the 16 districts. 600,000 plus. Only supposedly 90,000 people voted. So that's like an 18% turnout.
Yes, that makes sense.
I mean, I think my number at 110 less the districts that didn't accept me as a
Okay, that's real. That's a very impressive number. That many people went out of their fucking way. Because most people don't vote for that election. There's 30 different elections going on. So for those 100 whatever people who go out of their way to write in John Kitover is very impressive. Yeah. But I think it's a computer number. You could have gotten more or less. You could have gotten 200. You could have gotten 50. You could have gotten. We know you didn't vote for you.
So what they do is if it's a write-in candidate, it doesn't get scanned in. That means they have to manually look at the ballot, whether it's a printout from the digital or it's a hand paper, and then they have to tabulate and literally hand count 110 across all the counties, collate that, transmit that to the Illinois state. So it's like there's just no credibility. There's no transparency.
There's no transparency. How do we know that? I'm really pissed off. I can't prove that one, I voted for me. Because I think it says I got 0 votes for U.S. Senate. I voted for me. How is that possible?
We need a ledger. We need like an unbreakable. What? We need an unbreakable ledger. Like this is just
every ballot needs like a receipt. Every fucking thing needs to say I can go back.
Yeah, we need a double accounting entry system.
It's not a Fourth Amendment issue. I want to see my ballot. Be my ballot to make sure that my vote is counted correctly. That's not a Fourth Amendment issue. Maybe suck my dick. But regardless,
I love how Christine Maxwell and everybody's like the hottest new thing in politics is Max Solomon, a schizophrenic, homeless person.
Just totally bugging out. Were you there when he said he wanted to subpoena me? That was hysterical.
Oh my god.
I was being nice to him, and he's like, why don't you drop your case? I'm like, there's 2 cases on you, like, you know. He's like, oh. I'm like, I'm not even doing it. I just put my name on it. You know, someone else is paying for this. And he's like, I'm going to subpoena you. I can't talk to you. I'm going to subpoena you. And I'm like, you are such a fucking clown. Did you hear about his story that he did to poor Ashley Ramos?
Mm-hmm.
So he claims he had enough signatures for governor. And Ashley Ramos told me, she believes this, that he was carrying her signatures because he was her lawyer, you know, and he was going to submit them to Springfield, say we're a trip. And he claims that his car hit a deer, and all the a bunch of his signatures and her signatures burned up somehow. Isn't that wild? And so Ashley Ramos got kicked off the ballot, and she believes that shit. That he hit a deer and his car blew up.
I'm here. So what was your Aaron Del Mar blackmail scandal?
So Dave Pritchard is the guy that ran for Palestine GOP, and has been a long-time Aaron Del Mar hater. Has been a big-time Del Mar review, a record leaker, and he was one of the very few success stories. He beat Aaron Del Mar's guy 2-1, like 70-30. And so like he beat Aaron Del Mar's guy. Dave Pritchard was running for the 5th District State Central Committee. And he said he wanted to remove Aaron Del Mar as a stain that must be removed from the Illinois Republican Party, is his quote.
Wow.
And so he's running against Del Mar. It's him, Ken Jokum, a Wheeling guy, and Del Mar running. And so I talked to Ken. Him and Ken made a deal. Say, hey, we'll just vote for one of us will drop out. Del Mar will be gone. We have enough votes. Pritchard had 18% of the vote. Ken Jokum had 15. Like, they had enough votes. And everyone thought it's all over, and Aaron Del Mar's going to lose. And day of, Dave Pritchard decides to vote president, and Del Mar wins. And everyone was wondering why. What happened, Dave? What had happened was, after the primary, Dave Pritchard goes to the Palatine office. Aaron might have been blackmailing had some deal with the Palatine GOP office, because the rent was going to go from 1,000 to 2,800. And he lost the election, so he's like, fuck off, Dave. Pack your shit. And so Dave is going to the office late at night to get his retrieved stuff. And then the guy, Aaron's puppet, the guy he ran against, this guy named George, who's like he's like in his 50s, 60s, but is very strong. And Dave is like a retired, like a very like tubby, out of shape. You're the one that said he had a deviated septum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, you saw the video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the next day so then out of nowhere, the guy that got arrested decided to vote president, and then the allegation is that Aaron called him up and said, "Hey, we'll drop the charges if you let me win."
Mm.
Yeah, and then the other one that I'm talking to Shia Kapos later today, because if you look at her playbook article she wrote about Aaron, it's the biggest fucking joke. She wrote like she releases a 5 days a week newsletter, Politico, and it's just about everything going on politically. And the title of today's article is like Aaron Del Mar, the fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like the biggest puff piece about how great a person he is, and he's doing things different for Bailey. And she knows all the bad shit about Aaron, covers up for him all the time. And my other journalist friend says he's working on an expose on Politico in general, because apparently, like in other states, like the journalists will either work for a staff or get paid and then do favorable press. So I'm trying to see if there's something there too. So I'm gonna talk to that journalist. She's gonna call me.
Did you look at the Darren Bailey numbers versus like Ted Dabrowski and?
Yeah, it was really funny.
So like based on those numbers, you could statistically forecast Pritzker's victory. Like they don't stand a numerical chance.
No, of course not. They'd have to win like every independent and then clone them a couple times. and then so the independent clones showed the vote.
Bro, that video of Aaron Del Mar acting as Darren Bailey's
barbecue chicken sandwich, everything on it. Thank you. Which are you talking about with the sack and the ketchup?
Yeah, dude. Like, could you be any gayer and weirder and like?
Shia Kapos says he's a fighter. He's a fighter.
Like, how the fuck Darren must be being black.
Have you ever done cocaine? I've never done cocaine, so I have no frame of reference.
I don't like cocaine, and I don't like the way
So you've done it before. So you have a frame of reference, so.
I have a frame of reference to association with that chemical.
So I've
seen
done
it.
I think I was diagnosed, but I heard it's very similar, Adderall and Coke, but Coke's more intense. Is that correct?
No, actually, I would say that Adderall is far more of a powerful
No,
stimulant.
quick though. I heard like Coke is like an hour and like Adderall like an hour.
No. It's pretty instantaneous, but there's different types of Adderall. There's the instant release.
No, I'm talking about the lasting effects, like once it hits your system. Am I wrong? I heard Coke is like it hits you fast and it's out fast, and that's why they're always doing it all the time. I could be wrong. I said I've never done it. Doesn't matter. Moot point. So point being is that I think a lot of it is just from my dealing with people that work cocaine or whatever got better. Is it seems like when you're cocaine, you're delusional and it's everything is success and I want more and I'm a brilliant. So I have the funniest joke ever. I have the greatest idea. We're gonna take over the world like that.
Yeah, for sure. It creates euphoria.
But like delusion, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they
where
can
you
create.
temporarily think it's like a good idea to get in a fight right now, or like
Yeah,
take more coke.
yeah, it's definitely like you become like a rabbit bouncing around, uncontrollable. It's because the brain. It's all just chemical enhancement. The brain just starts over acting. Yeah.
But that's how Aaron to me seems. Like he's just like coked out, and like thinking like in his mind, he thinks what he's doing is like brilliant.
I agree.
And that's why he's like, and Shy's a piece of shit. He's like lied about, he said about Christian Mitchell's gay. And then you see that fake quoting about Brandon Johnson. Brandon, he posted a quote of Brandon Johnson being like, I hate white people, like that kind of thing. He never said it. He just made up like a race baiting quote. But to me, that's like some cokey shit where he just saw that and he's like, awesome. And then he doesn't have a team, so he just goes straight to the Facebook or Twitter. But,
yeah. Anyways, they're losers. He's a loser. And it's just so funny how, like, one loser, can control the whole thing because there's just, like, no way to stop somebody's malicious, like, personal activity.
The man with one eye is king.
Yeah, it's like, how does one guy just keep managing to control everything? And it's really just because of his environment. It's the people around him.
No, it's alpha. I think if you or I wanted to do that, we could do the same. We just don't want that. He's like, this in the world where no one has balls, the man with one testicle is king. Facts. In the land of the castrato, the man with a single nut is king.
Yeah, I think it's so funny how he's like showing Darren and his wife around. It's like they're the real losers because they don't know they're getting played by this loser who's using them.
I know he's blackmailed them. I don't believe that they don't know.
Could you imagine?
Most of my negative articles about Darren came from the Darren Bailey shit you were talking about last campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Bailey was the first one to criticize him publicly for the blackjack and hooker stuff, showgirl. Because Aaron Del Mar was the lieutenant governor candidate against his opponent, Kerry Rabine. So Darren knows, but I think so I wrote a whole article, and it basically was a huge fight because basically Darren Bailey's team was throwing a party with Aaron's team, and there was like teenagers there, and they were drinking, and DeVore's ex-girlfriend got in a fight with her, and the cops were called, yada yada yada. Anyways, there's a lot of like instances of like drinking and teens. Bailey had two gay young men who are like flamers now, like possibly three. Not even including the Brett Corrigan guy who like there's rumors on, but not confirmed. But the other two are like just very flamers, and they were Bailey employees. And then there were some party guys, and
so that's where the blackmail's coming in, because.
So
Bailey, you think Bailey's bisexual and a swinger?
Well, he seems so gay, but like even if he's not gay, it's just reasonable to say that like Aaron could have snapped one picture, get one comment of him saying something off color, But I think Darren's gay. Do you think so?
It's like Liberace gay.
He seems so gay. Like I don't think he's bi.
Oh well, he's got fucking kids. I mean, a lot of gay men get married and have families.
That doesn't. I mean, they're just sticking it in.
I'm just saying. Like when it comes to Aaron Del Mar even getting the position. Yeah, I mean, but anyways, this is the funniest thing is it's like they know.
I could do the same thing though, 'cause like you or I, if we were bad people, I could just call Bailey like, hey Bailey, I'm not the one that you're a fag. I want you to give me $5,000. I want you to like.
It's not.
Support my Congress campaign, and you would do it.
See, if you're blackmailing somebody, you're basically like on good terms with that person because they've agreed to essentially join your evil conspiracy. Like they're like, fuck it.
It's mostly mutually assured destruction. It's usually not blackmail. It's usually like a wink.
Yeah, I would say the MAD theory is more accurate.
That's what I mean. That's the same. It's just kind of when I say demonic, I mean evil. When I say pig, there's a lot of phrases I use are catch-alls. But yeah, what I mean
it's more like implied blackout. Like, imagine if we would have like really did some shit that CFS would like really partying hard, you know, and like we stole something.
All right, I gotta get going, but enjoy your sandwich. I'll call. Hello.
There's a story.
I just think you're the cat to the neighborhood. I don't have him in my house. I'm just the neighborhood cat colonel, okay? Unofficial neighborhood cat colonel.
That's wonderful, Nye. That's amazing.
Listen. Dr. Adams has a fair point, which is that we really should limit every 4 legs of animal that you bring to your house. It should be every 1,000 square feet.
Oh.
Keegan, you know, I haven't agreed with Keegan probably 3.5 years. That is just amazing. Ain't got good.
That's like 450. You can have a bird, right? You can have a fish. You can have 40 fish. I don't care. But once you start putting these cats and dogs, you better have 1,000 square feet for each cat and dog you got.
Barry, what's going on with the water from above? Any fix on that?
Oh, it's done. They fixed it. Doesn't happen anymore. They completely fixed it. Fucking finally. I'm very happy to hear about it too.
Good.
So, good. I know. I'll send them a gift basket or something.
Because it's not even just a problem in apartments, right? It's a problem in even my community where there'll be a house with 2,000 square feet and they got 14 dogs and 10 cats. And they just live outside. And I got a problem with that. I want to kill them.
You know, because it's the water runoff from it. Runoff from it is toxic. No, I completely agree with Keegan on that. There's a lot of people that have hoarding problems in general, but once they start throwing animals in there, it can turn it into public health.
You do realize when Keegan says he wants to kill innocent animals, that's a Ted Bundy type of statement. That's a sociopathic, psychopathic intention. Congratulations, Keegan. You win Psycho Clubhouse Award of the Day.
Keegan, please don't kill the animals. I hope you don't have a.
Listen, I'm not actually going to kill them. I want to, but I'm not going to. There's a difference on acting on it or thinking about it, right? These are intrusive thoughts that I'm saying out loud. So.
Okay, let him vent. Let him vent. Let us be therapy comes out red and vent, then act.
Right. You got it. Let it out, sir. Just let it out. Get off that chest, man.
How rabid cat did you keep?
Don't forget your power, white boy.
Rabid rabbit.
Listen, about 2 years ago, I was mowing my lawn, and a little chihuahua ran up on me and started barking at me. Now, was I scared? No. Was I fearful for my life? Did I hurt it? No. But was I annoyed? And did I have to grab it and have it bark at me while I carry it back to I know the house that it came from? Right? I'm not
You thought about raising the 2 wheels of that lawnmower.
Well, I thought about it. I truly did. I really thought that this would just be an easy little solution, but I didn't do it.
He was probably running for his freedom. Shit.
You're probably right. I probably returned to a bad spot.
Next time, let him free. Like I'm a star. Give us free.
That was the right thing to do, Keegan. Just pick off and return them home. That was smart.
I picked it up by the fat of its neck, though, and I carried it like it was like a grocery bag that was leaking. I mean, he was a little mad about it. This eating will get violent.
That consensus to just make another noise. Unlike short bouts, right?
The Los Angeles Fleet Week is happening May 22nd and 25th, if anyone's close and cares.
Now here's a hot take about animals. If you have a cat, now if your cat's already been declawed and you're just like it's a rescue or whatever, I don't care. But if you have a cat and you declaw your cat, you are inhumane and you don't deserve to live, in my opinion.
Of course. That's awful. Don't deserve to live.
Yes. You don't deserve to live. We should declaw you.
I mean, maybe that's fair. They should lose the tips of their fingers, but...
Yeah, they got little cats now. There's no excuse.
I did.
Are you fucking ladies retarded? We kill 2,000 babies in this country a day. Maybe you got your priorities upside down. Cat paws versus baby heads? Hello?
Talking about earlier about we're obligated to have activations and be protesting against every little bitty thing that we can't even protest about multiple things at this point.
John, you know what moving the goalpost is? That's what you just did. You moved the goalpost. We weren't talking about babies. You brought up babies.
We were talking about babies earlier, actually, like kids and shit, little girls, so...
You know, I love it when people say, like, you have to be connective or sequential in communication, meaning that, like, if I move the goalpost, to call me out on moving the goalpost when there's no, you know, prior conditions that you can't move goalposts. It's like, that's still a nothing burger to say, oh, you're moving a goalpost.
Okay, great. So y'all did nothing. Great. Thanks for taking times.
You care about the babies, John, but why don't you care about the children in Palestine, John? What the hell's wrong with you?
First of all, there's no such place as Palestine. There's this place called Israel. And secondly, I am concerned about all murder, not just baby murder. Hello?
They're moving the goalposts. I can't even keep up.
Rest and not anything else. Like, it doesn't make sense what you're saying.
But all I know is they keep cutting down trees in Brazil. Amazonian trees that have been around forever, cutting them down daily en masse.
Do you know underneath the Amazon rainforest is the oldest living creature on planet Earth? Do you know, and they're immortal, do you know what that creature is?
No, what is that?
A really big snake or what?
Termites, actually.
Oh, termite queens are so scary. They lay like one egg every, I think, what is it, like one egg every like 3 seconds or something, just for their entire lives.
Oh, that's too much.
I don't know. This was a few weeks ago. I said that I was at the gas station and those little ads, and it was like a little factoid. It was like the oldest living land animal was some turtle, 192-year-old turtle, and I forget his name. A week later, I saw that he died. That's crazy. So he's dead. Yeah, I think the oldest animal in general that we've ever found was some kind of clam that ended up being like 500 years old or something. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not for cutting the trees down in Brazil.
God, could you imagine what that clam tastes like in some butter with some garlic and a little bit of lemon?
Probably pretty crusty.
Yeah, like I can only imagine
Yeah, because they oh god, I can only imagine.
I just learned the other day how large Brazil is. Like Brazil is almost as big as the United States. I didn't realize that. Do they have like states in Brazil? Like yeah, they have all those counties and states and large cities and rural areas. And even that Brazil, Rio de Janeiro has more diverse restaurants than New York City. Interesting. Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about going to Paraguay. I was just thinking about it, nothing more.
I figured out how to use some of these Waymos to my advantage. If I'm trying to make like a right turn and traffic is just coming, I just see a Waymo and then just inch out and then it stops. Yeah. Exactly. So, I love these things.
I miss being in India. I haven't visited since 2013.
You say India?
Yeah.
Where in India do you go though?
Usually on the west side. Some rural places here and there, but mostly on the west side. Yeah.
What kind of shit do you like to do there?
Usually just visiting only.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, I see it then.
Yeah. But there's a lot to do there.
Isn't that where that big ring is? You know what I'm talking about, the cars?
They're around car ring? What are you talking about?
It's like this big old car cylinder or cylindrical fucking infrastructure that cars will go, they drive sideways, right?
I don't know sideways, but there's a highway that's like sort of like a ring.
No. Okay, let me show you. Hold on, let me show you.
If you come close to the wall, touch your heels with your hands and stretch your body like this, and your hip flexors.
Italian food in India is so cute. I like that.
No, seriously. Like I personally don't like Indian food at all. So like if I ever went to India, because I would like to see Taj Mahal. If I ever went to India, I would just like to know if I could get Italian food.
Most likely, probably the best of it you can get it.
Oh yeah, they have like Olive Garden, right?
Most likely,
yeah, they have Olive Garden in Bahrain too. Abu Dhabi,
they have
Bahrain. McDonald's, yeah.
See, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I really don't have a problem with like, yeah.
What do they do? Curry pasta?
I haven't been to an Italian restaurant.
Oh, so you can still get like normal like American food.
Yeah. We usually don't mix pasta with Italian food.
You should have like hamburgers and stuff,
Hamburgers are tough.
Yeah.
If you go to
Kitover, you're missing some other countries.
That's true.
Most states in India don't allow.
Oh yeah, you can't eat cows, or some places, right? They don't eat cows.
There's only one place. There's one state. There's a Kerala if you go to the southwest. Yeah.
So then that's why I mentioned Italian food, because that's one of those things where it doesn't really offend too many cultural delicacies.
I know we have Chinese food. We have Indo-Chinese fusion too. Yes. The food is good, yeah, that's for sure.
Almost hard to find.
What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think you guys is going to become like Russia? Like it's censored and everything?
No, I think in 2 years we're going to get a new president and some things are going to change and the world's going to sensationalize it and we're just going to live amongst it and hope for the best.
You do realize that if Kamala Harris would have won, it would have become a closed society. We were living under censorship, and if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz became president, everyone would have been issued a vaccine ID tracker. It would have gone digital, not paper, so there could be a full accounting that everyone is mass vaccinated with an experimental mRNA spike protein gene modifier. You do realize Kamala Harris would have ushered in the end of America. Donald Trump is liberating America. Kamala Harris is a domestic terrorist. She should be arrested along with hundreds of other corrupt politicians. Hello?
That's for sure. I understand the job. Definitely, there's a lot of demands, but I have a favorable view of Trump.
Yeah, well, you know what I can do? I can still go on the internet and speak freely now. X has been bought by Elon. Meta has de-restricted. Zuckerberg is no longer a protean fascist, vaccinologist, hosting a Dr. Fauci. Maybe he learned he was scammed by Dr. Fauci, Dr. Birx, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Operation Warp Speed. Yes, Donald Trump may have delivered it to us, but he didn't create it. That was created at the Pentagon in conjunction with Pfizer and other military industrial war research. But Kamala Harris and what was happening with the censorship, it would have been total communication lockdown control, full vaccination. It would have been a horrible nightmare.
Yeah, it would have shown, but it didn't.
Yeah, I agree with you. And here's the thing. Like, California has its culture and its, things with technology, but that doesn't mean the entire U.S. needs to, bow down to, you know what I mean? That's why I agree with you. But that was actually my concern, too. After post 9/11, I was like, shoot, all this tech giants in California, what's going to happen? So out here, I'm in Michigan, the auto industry. Using embedded systems and not, like, operating systems. So something's going on.
And back once again.
Welcome back.
Hey, girl.
Thank you.
Everyone have a nice drink of water.
Yes, drink your water. I'm actually going to walk. I'm going to go move my derriere.
That's a great idea.
I think I'm going to start going to the pool at lunch, y'all.
That's a great idea.
Right?
Yeah. It's great for you. All body population.
Yes.
We're going to get to the swimming pool.
I think the swimming pool is exactly what I need every day for lunch.
Have you heard of a sliver pool?
A sliver pool? I have not.
It's mainly for people who are swimmers, like Olympic swimmers, but it's a sliver of pool. It doesn't take that much space, and you can pull.
Next to a laps?
Yeah, well, not laps. It pushes water at you. So it's like a constant. You're swimming against the pressure, but you're not really moving. Like that. It's called a sliver pool, but it probably has a second term.
That's like a swimming trainer type of Olympic trainer something.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Made of wood.
Is it really?
Yeah, a little bit from the boat. Yeah, that's where you get your slivers from.
I'm going to start walking to the pool every day for lunch. I think it's a great way to break up the workday.
I wish I was swimming right now.
Why don't you try doing some basic yoga moves like a hip stretch, rotation, hamstring pull? You got to move that body. Take some deep breaths. Don't just go to the pool and drink a cocktail. Can't drink on the job,
I want to get sunshine. I want to get vitamin B and vitamin K and
breath work, girl.
Yes, I want to do some breath work.
Love that.
It's a great lunch, and I work from home, so I don't have to worry about coming home and jumping in the shower real quick.
That's good. That's a good breath. And you keeping fit is good. Do it more. We should all
be a little more fit. Yeah, exactly. We should all be a little more fit.
So doing it. That is how I'm going to spend my summer, y'all.
Yeah,
walked a little bit yesterday. That's all I got right now, but I'm gonna walk more today.
I'm gonna start Monday. I want to give the pool just a few more days to warm up. Something's warm days.
I'm going full hot bath with my aquatic system at my house. It's going to be freaking
Nice.
What do you got? What are you doing?
well. It's something that Walt Disney would be real proud of.
Is it like landscaped or something?
Is it like a gas chamber or what is it?
Stop!
Walt Disney was anti-Semitic. That was a joke.
You're just derailing. Anyways,
I think I'm gonna stop being a chronic sufferer of idiot fatigue. I think I'm gonna stop.
I went to Claremont College, it's the university my friend, she's the librarian at, and she does like archival shit. It's a very beautiful university or college or whatever. And there's a bunch of, it's like multiple colleges, like there's a men's college, a women's college, and then some others. But anyways, the campus itself had so many fountains and water features and just these botanical areas that enclosed in like the Spanish style of the facade and all that jazz. But rose bushes, it was just so gorgeous. I was taking so many pointers for when I get my forever home. I'm gonna have like a promenade and flowers and roses and vines.
I love this.
Cherry trees and grapevines. Oh, I can't wait.
It's the vines for me. Like that. Me too. I love the vines. Okay. So my brain is. I'm sorry. I'm not to digress. I'm kind of worried about my hair type brain. Is there something I can create on my hair to try and bring them?
Yeah, you wash with purple shampoo. Actually, you get purple shampoo, you put it a little bit in your conditioner, so you have like a soft. I would also wear a hair cap. I actually wear hair caps all the fucking time.
I don't like to wash my hair every day. That's the only other big pain in the ass. Dealing with stuff every day. But it takes me less than
Maybe like do like a certain amount of
Hopefully we can run to join with Christians across the country.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, girl, test your body. See what works for you.
You could probably do like the pool and sauna after or something. Like kind of mix it up.
yeah, so that's one side. It's very funky shaped. It's kind of like
That's a great pool though. Oh yeah. Oh, so you can do like a little from here to there to there to here.
yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful pool.
Yeah, it's plenty to get a good enough workout in and be like all the freak over it. And then just 20 minutes. 20 minutes to shower and clean up. So okay.
Doggy paddle, keep your hair
Right.
dry.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a nice pool.
I think it's really good that you're doing that. I actually want to start martial arts. I did it when I was, well, maybe did it too. But I think I was maybe like something else.
Thank losses, camera.
I don't know. I'll do my Wing Chun or I'll entertain Taekwondo. I don't know.
Me too.
And speaking of working out, Liberty, you started bouldering, huh? You did a boulder sesh? Tell me what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, I've been bouldering for like a couple weeks now. It's
Oh my god!
it's like the most fun exercise I've ever done.
Oh my god, I'm so happy for you. That's fabulous.
Yeah, my second favorite way to exercise is racquetball. But racquetball is like so cardio intense where like you feel like you're gonna throw up, you know, when you haven't been in it for a while. So the nice thing about bouldering is it's like you can kind of go at your own pace.
Right, you get constant breaks. It's really nice. I'm happy.
What's up?
I'm always surprised though, like how long
What's up, Rafi?
just sitting
What's up,
in
guys?
the bouldering gym.
Yeah, just sitting there, just trying to get your life back together, right?
I didn't notice I was mic'd.
Because I don't do that. Like when I go, maybe it's because I'm a newbie, but I'm just like, I'm here to climb, I'm gonna climb. I'm just like, I climb one, and I climb another one, and I climb another one. Like these other people, I'm like, they just sit there for like 20 minutes.
Are they like you? like slender, and they probably maybe have like, you know, some weight on them. It's difficult for me because, you know, I have a little body on me and all that jazz, and I have like little arms and stuff. So when I try to boulder, I do need to take a little bit of break here because oh my god, my hands are so red, and my arms.
Yeah, I'm like built for bouldering, you know, where it's like
this is you, girl.
It's like really long arms, long legs, like no 0% body fat, you know.
Yeah, this is your sport.
You're a joke.
Have you tried the jump climbing and all that jazz where you have to leap from one handle to another handle? Have you tried doing things like that? Yeah.
Other than to the extent when I went to Sky Zone once. No.
Sky Zone.
But I would the one thing I wish I had near me is like an American Ninja Warrior gym. I would love that, to be able to like swing around and climb on things and do the warp wall and all that.
Try a bungee room too. If they have those, the one they have here in New Jersey, you can like suspend and then jump into like trampolines and shit. It's fun.
What they have, I mean, I don't know if it was near you, but they have like LA Fitness and what else? Lifetime. Both of those have those like walls you can climb.
Equinox too. Yeah, we had one of ours. But when you went to a rock climbing gym, you know what I'm saying? When there's just so many different styles of climbing, it's really fun. But it is a lot of chilling. So go there and expect to chill, you know?
I don't have shit for lunch. I guess I'm having ramen noodles and some fried eggs.
Not the ramen noodles.
Yeah. Are you guys doing the whole thing with like saving for a rainy day type of thing? Like, you know, for like 3 or 6 months of food and stuff?
Like, no, I don't have the space for that.
Yeah, no, me either. Not food.
Yeah, I don't have the space for that. It would be nice, but, you know, it's just not reality for a lot of people.
I think I have that.
Now you have the ultimate shield, the Cook Island.
I figure I can use them to barter too.
I want plants too.
I have some criticism about the seeds because
Lover boy.
in my experience, seeds don't last very long. Like depending on the seed, you know, like spinach, for example, like if my spinach seed packet is 2 years old, I'm throwing nothing away. Like there's no way any of those are good, you know?
Oh, see, I read up on that, Liberty, and it says to keep them in the refrigerator.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure that helps, but I'm also just like, I don't know, I think when I actually put myself in the perspective of like,
Says that
the world
79-year-old
ending to the extent
John
that this season
Abendshire was found dead
valuable,
last night, and the
it takes a
Durban
long time to like
nature
figure
preserve
out,
Lake
you
Forest.
know?
Last week, he was charged with possessing child pornography. She owned that home alone, had that home alone house right during the movies filming in the 1990s. An autopsy is scheduled for today.
For the most, I would say, for the most of the first like 3 to 6 months of that world, you would survive primarily off of raiding old grocery stores, raiding warehouses, like
Yes.
that.
Do you know what Texas, Florida?
If I was to stockpile anything, I would.
I have Troy Aikman. In live entertainment, venue is a winning team. That's why I invested.
I see the benefit in both of them. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know
Sweet,
seeds
so
are not an immediate fix, but I feel like it would be a long-term
I would steal Z-Packs. I would go straight out of the clinic and steal Z-Packs crazy. Like, oh,
You're right. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel like in that situation, like,
China just built an army full of agents. The Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was on Capitol Hill Wednesday, where he was.
Have a huge garden plot. You already have like meat rabbits. You already have a population of chickens with a rooster. Like in that situation, you're gonna be okay. You know, like because you already are kind of in a cycle where you probably already have food canned. You already have rabbits that are ready to give birth. You know, like I just I feel like if you're it's true that they don't take up much space and there's really nothing wrong with saving heirloom seeds. But I would say if it would probably, I don't know if you do a lot of gardening, but I feel like it would be beneficial to at least practice, gardening them to make sure that you know how to do it.
I want to grow my own herbs this year, like in little flower boxes.
Because I was shook by how hard.
You better get those seeds in the ground. You ain't gonna have enough time.
Wow. Yeah, gardening is very difficult, actually. I do it, and then it's like a constant watch. I have a celery that's
Why is NPR Fed Fund
an avocado seed
discredited?
that just split. My avocado seed just split, y'all. You know what's coming up next, baby. A little sprout, a little boop. I'm gonna buy myself a little avocado tree. It's happening in New York City, too. Yep.
Just because you want to grow in your area doesn't mean you're successful in another area too, either, because growing changes by climate, by soil, there's a lot of different things that go into it.
I love that little sprout on top of the avocado.
I'm so excited. It just split, so I came back from
This is
LA.
great. I know I'll be attacked by the left, call me a white supremacist, but I have one ask for them. It's just when you give me my hood, make sure it's got the little slits and not the circles so I can see better.
I'm trying to probably get it settled, and my cilantro is doing really good right now. I have an onion, I have 2 green onions. My basil is fucking killing it so much it's taking over my other plants because it's so invasive.
This is great. I know I'll be attacked by the
Fruits are so space. You know what? I can't. But yeah, I like growing mint. I had a chocolate mint
This is
one,
great.
and that was fun.
Something that I saw today, which I think is
Yeah, and so I would, when you have your mint, and you have to slap it.
something that I saw.
Spank it.
This is like to have you here in the greatest city of the world. This is like to have you here in the greatest city of the world, Miami.
Oh, Hashem, you've helped develop that. Now, how much real estate have you developed out here?
Oh my gosh.
It's a pretty shady spot. So
There's a
I don't
place
have any issues with
in
that.
Monterey, California called Lover's Point.
That soil that year.
The original name, the there's a place.
One that I had a hard time with was peas. I just felt like I got all my peas all at once, and then it was just like, okay, like what am I supposed to do with all these peas? And I guess I gotta like blanch them and freeze them, but then it was like, I don't know, like it was so much work, to like de-shell them and whatever, and you get like 1 bowl's worth of peas, and they were amazing, like they're definitely better than like the store-bought ones. But it's just like, well, this is not worth it.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, actually.
What's up, Kelly?
Oh, I'm tending to personal affairs today, and it's so good to see you all and be in this room with you while I'm doing that.
We're talking herbs.
Oh, herbs. Can you grow herbs in a window? And
Yes.
I probably need to research this because I came into the conversation at the end, but I want to grow something, but I need to research it for my 2 cats. So.
Yes, you should do things like parsley and oregano and rosemary is really big. Basil, yes.
Why can't I remember? Marigold. Why can't I remember? Marigold. Maybe it's marigolds.
Yeah, I think marigolds are good for like rabbits and deer, I think.
Wait, let me preempt King Nuff. Sorry to hear that. Let me preempt King Nuff. Sorry to hear that.
I have a live trap this year. I'm gonna try and catch him and release him somewhere. But yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that.
He eats my tail all the way down to the base.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And then they float up into a little trappy trap.
You can, but in this case, I don't know for sure where he lives. He just like.
Where did this one joke a day?
On two! On three!
She's being I watched an interview with, or part of it with her. I watched an interview with, or part of it with her and Jesse Lee Peterson.
What'd you think?
Well, I like her comedy's funny, but she's also quite knowledgeable as to the, you know, most of her jokes would be considered anti-woke. So she's actually pretty knowledgeable about what's been going on, etc., battle between the left and the right. You know, pick a word to describe all of that. You know, what's her name? Oh, Jesus. Hannah Gadsby. Yeah, she was awful. But, and I think I know the kind of comedy you're talking about. And yeah, it's not funny at all. It's like, oh, isn't it funny? I mean, what comes from the left, like Hannah Gadsby, is like, oh, isn't it funny that men are stupid? Ha ha ha. Oh, isn't it funny that Christians are stupid? Ha ha ha. There's no actual joke there.
That's what it's becoming. And
yeah.
I have a hot take about like old head kind of comedy too, like Dave Chappelle even Dave Chappelle by name. I went to go see Dave Chappelle live for a comedy maybe a couple of years back. And the entire, I think like the first maybe couple times it was jokes, a couple, sentences, a couple, whatever, anecdotes he was giving was jokes. But then eventually it just turned into a lecture and like how the industry treated him. And it just continues to be kind of that. Now we watch a stand-up and it's still that.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, he will still make me laugh. But, yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. I forget Chris Rock. It's funny. 20 years ago, Chris Rock in his specials was talking about stuff. And it's funny how, but I haven't seen his special. Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, they got to move on. And even Bill Burr, I think Bill Burr, some of his comments on his podcast lately or in the last year have gotten, people are like, where the hell did this come from? But he's still finding the jokes. Like he might say something political, but he still makes a joke out of it. So it's not like the Dave Chappelle, oh, I'm just going to sit here and lecture people.
Well, Alan, what did you think about George Carlin toward the end of his career?
I hated George Carlin. I really never.
He's the same way.
Oh, I love Carlin. I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I get it.
Footballs.
I get it. But he became more of a social commentator. Some of his stuff.
Hey, gold is down, and I'm here to buy something back I sold to you a while back.
He was making money because you don't have stuff you don't have.
Give a bigger box.
seven swings.
Makeup box?
Thinking about how we use language and, changing things. It wasn't necessarily we can have inspiration. Something like that. But something along those lines. The point is, like, she just made the point. The problem, like, women comedians often get criticized for not being funny, and her comment is, and she said it's actually easier for women comedians because if you're just a little bit funny, people will laugh. The problem is most women comedians aren't funny.
Get him, Alan.
Yeah, that's right.
We were funny.
So second question. Has anyone seen the Michael movie?
No, I haven't. Is it good?
Michael Jackson? I don't know. I'm seeing all these reviews on it. No spoilers, but obviously it's his life story, so we already know the story. But people are saying Jafar Jackson did awesome.
Don't fall for it.
George Carlin, I thought was like a brilliant comic, and I don't use that term lightly. And toward the end of his career, he certainly changed his style and became, more of a commentator who used a little bit of comedy thrown in. Unlike Bill Maher, who's always been a comedian first, and he has actually become more famous as a political commentator, but he always kept the core of it. With comedy as the baseline. But George Carlin, if you watch some of his older sets, not like the sets toward the very end of his life, but maybe 10 years before, I liken him to like the Eminem of the comedy world, in the sense that the words he uses in the comedy are so tactile and calculated and exacting, and every syllable and breath is planned out in the way it's delivered. It's truly taking that art form into its extreme end.
I would agree with that. I can appreciate what he did and the way in which he did it, and everything you're saying is true. It was just, again, to date myself, but I remember seeing him as a kid early on, and then at a certain point it's like, yeah, but you're changing, and at first it was fine, but then and if I'm not laughing, well, then you're not a comic.
I have another one for you. What about Jackie Mason?
Wait a second, the Jewish comic?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing him a lot. I know who you mean.
Mm-hmm.
He certainly had a shtick going. And
Beverly Hills, the only place in the world where embarrassed to have a Cadillac. My sister came over, she told that thing, get that thing out of here.
Yeah, see, if you really want Jewish humor, you've got to go to, look up an album, When You're in Love, The Whole World is Jewish. And it's an album entirely Jewish shticks. And yeah, I remember, my parents bought the album in the 60s. and talked to him about it. We talked about a lot of the comedians in those days came from New York, and they all did the Catskill Mob. Really well done. Really well done. I mean, the costumes, the music, everything, the amount that went into it. I kind of didn't like the end, but that was
Hi, do you guys do a walk-in clinic, or do I need to make an appointment to try to see a psychiatrist? Yeah. No, I don't. That's why I'm calling. Okay, so. So I have to come back. I mean, it's not like I can't get a prescription. I can't get my prescription filled the same day. It's like okay, sounds good. Thanks.
The wonderful Mrs. Maisel. It's not a Game of Thrones ending episode. Let's put it that way. Not that I ever watched Game of Thrones, but the fact that everybody hated it. And it's certainly not a Seinfeld last show either. So.
What happened with Seinfeld? I watched it. What was the?
The final episode was. The premise was some guy was getting robbed, and the four of them did nothing while he was getting robbed. So they get arrested, and they have the trial, because they're actually, there is some New York law or something that you're supposed to help people who are in trouble.
They weren't in New York, Alan. They were in another state.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a two-part ending. It was a two-episode ending.
Yeah, and so the whole final episodes was them being in court, and of course Jackie, whoever it was, the lawyer, black lawyer, who was a spoof on Johnny Cochran, was defending them, and then it was a parade of past celebrities who had, guest stars coming in and testifying how bad they were as people. And then in the end, they ended up being convicted, and the four of them are sitting in a jail cell together.
And the part that was so unsatisfying to every viewer was that the last scene is them just like, okay, we're in jail now, and then they kept saying, okay, so we got a year, and we'll be back. 1 year, and we'll be back. So people took it as a coded message to mean they're taking the year off, but then they're going to continue the show. That wasn't the case.
Because that sounds kind of funny to me, like wrapping it up with lots of past.
It wasn't bad. I didn't hate it as much as most people. So
It was hella funny. It was just basically a trial about their moral character. Everybody who they've ever wronged or shortchanged over the years and shit. The Soup Nazi and Wayne Newman.
Soup Nazi.
Yeah. All of them came back to testify against them.
Right. I lost my business. Yeah.
And it wasn't How I feel like How I Met Your Mother was another one that people really hated the ending of. I never watched it though.
Yeah, I think I saw that, and it was like, but really, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, and when I watched the Seinfeld one, I thought, well, yeah, this was okay, I got it. But I think the disappointment is they expected, I mean, when you consider that some of their episodes were absolutely brilliant and you know, really, really funny, it wasn't that. Like, I think maybe people expected some especially wacky plot twist or bizarre, you know, whatever, and it wasn't that, so.
Hey, Alan, did Man Hands ever testify against him?
I don't think so.
That would have been fucking hilarious. I love that fucking episode. That is still the funniest fucking episode ever. Fucking Man Hands. She got hands like a dock worker. Sitting there busting up the lobster.
So where you're supposed to stand or still there. So where you're supposed to stand or still there. And how you're supposed to move. That's my favorite episode.
Right, and of course, like the most famous relic of Seinfeld is that diner on the Upper West Side that they went to.
Sandy's, yeah. I've been to it. I think it's on 87th or 86th. I've been to it. I think it's on 87th or 86th, 82nd? 82nd?
Something like that. And the sign is this because in the show, it just took an image where it said restaurant, and that's like half of the sign. You know, I think it's something restaurant, but yeah.
They're opening a Central Park here, an actual coffee house. They should have already, but they're actually going to build one.
I think depending, a 90s coffee shop could do well.
How did they get the naming rights to it?
Say again? The naming rights to it? It's probably
how did they
owned by
get
the
the naming
studio. It's probably owned by the studio.
Or license.
Or licensed to shapes. Or something.
The bar, I think I've been to the bar that Cheers was filmed in before Cheers ever was a thing.
I believe you.
Alan used to play in the grass fields in the area that eventually became the Erie Canal when it was still grass.
Yes, yeah. Well, I've been to Lexington, where the first Revolutionary battle was, where the Revolutionary War started. But anyway.
Oh, you were there for that?
Yeah, I was there for that. But
anyway, you take responsibility for exterminating the mammoths.
Yeah, see, I was actually behind the guy, and I bent down to polish my shoe, and I hit his arm, and that it accidentally shot off with the first shot. So.
Oh my God, you were the one that knocked off the nose from the pyramid guy, right? That dude.
Yeah, that was me too.
Alan Orange.
I was trying to clean him, and I had a shit, so I said, "Oh, let me get my pedal out."
So you were one of by land, two of by sea, right? That was you.
Hey, Alan. These pretzels are making me thirsty.
These pretzels are made. Is that supposed to be?
Like convection or something?
Wait, what? Are making me thirsty.
I'm literally gonna sit here and see who's cultured and who's not.
Kramer.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Wait, let me throw something at you to see if you know what it goes away from me, bro.
Am I right?
We were just talking about it.
What were we talking about?
Wait, we were insulting Alan by calling him old, and then Adrian comes in with the Seinfeld reference.
I think that's a
Show or something, or a small speaking role in a Woody Allen movie. And Woody Allen was shooting a movie outside of Jerry's apartment. And they casted Kramer to be in a movie, and he only had one line, and that was, "These pretzels are making me thirsty." And he just kept rehearsing that fucking line.
Oh, that's the episode?
Yeah.
Yes, I kind of remember that now. I learned it. interesting. Someone had mentioned knocking a nose off of an Egyptian. That was me. Yeah. Yeah. I learned a thing recently because I just love to, debunk crazy facts. Where someone, it was when I was at the, actually, technically I'm debunking Cheyenne because she was the one who said it. But we were at the Met and we were at the Egyptian exhibit and like everything had no nose, right? Like at least half of all of the figures had no nose on them. And she was like, oh, I actually heard about this on Instagram or whatever, that this is because of like white supremacy, that like the Greeks or whatever didn't like it when the Egyptians had Arab looking noses, and so anytime an Egyptian statue had an Arab looking nose, they would remove it because they wanted to preserve the idea that the ancient Egyptians were like white adjacent. And I was like, that sounds off to me. And so I did some research, and it seems like there's three things that happen. One, that noses and ears are very easy to break off and are like subject to erosion. Two is that actually there was a practice in ancient Egypt of breaking the nose off of statues because the idea was that the mouth was closed, and so the only way that the statue could breathe was through the nose, and that the statue was meant to contain the spirit of the person who died. So they would knock the nose off to kill the spirit that lived inside the statue.
Oh, wow.
And that tomb raiders actually did that also because they had heard that.
They wouldn't get cursed.
So they were trying to prevent being cursed, so they would also knock the nose off. And then the last thing was, maybe that was it. I swear there was like a third thing where there was like a culture that was knocking the noses off or something. But yeah.
Alexander the Great.
That was.
Sounds like a bunch of racist
These people used to chop the arms off of statues and things. So maybe Alexander the Great might have pulled up and been like chop. But yeah, definitely not wild. I hadn't heard that.
So what did she say when you told her that you're finding?
I mean, she's not like a libtard or anything, so she was just, she likes to hear facts as much as I do, so she didn't.
Yeah, I find that interesting.
Nice.
So I saw on Instagram is an automatic red flag for me.
Right? Yeah. Facebook
And
is
I'm
worse.
like, wait a minute, is that elitist snobbery? Because I'll get that one. I saw it on X, and oh, you saw it on X. That's just funny.
What's amazing is the different reactions. There was this video of this woman, she was in a bar. She said she overheard 3 guys talking about how to cheat on their wives. And she said she sat there taking notes so she could describe these men so she could put it on TikTok. I looked at the video on TikTok, all the comments were like, oh my God, you're the best, and you're a girl's girl. And even though my husband wasn't there, I put him on the couch for the night. Twitter, they're all like, mind your business, shut the fuck up.
I was saying, why is that bitch not minding her business?
I posted, I said, my friends were at the same bar, and they overheard spoke average white guy. She couldn't say that twice. I said, my friends were there, and they noticed some average white lady was listening to them. And made a story about cheating on their wives.
You know what? When I hear wild shit like that, I always say, they're probably writing a script. Yeah,
I said that we used to do with my friends all the time. We would say the wildest thing. Like, imagine some fucking asshole listening, like, oh, I'm gonna fucking call her out on TikTok and she,
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that was a Seinfeld episode as well.
There were so many good. Do you watch Curb Enthusiasm? You like that one too?
Yeah.
Oh, my husband loves that.
Oh, I love her.
Adrian, you're outside too. I can hear the wind.
Oh yeah. Leaving the golf course.
Yeah, I've got a brand new Canadian tuxedo.
Wait.
Oh, go on.
Adrian,
What's up?
I've heard you speak for years on this app.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first I've heard. Do you play golf?
Yeah, I play golf.
Yeah?
Adrian, why does O.J. Simpson play golf?
Why is it fascinating that Adrian played this golf? Where are you going with that, Alan?
Because
Alan goes to a country club. They don't let those people there.
created an image of a person based on what they say on this app. And everything you said, Adrian, does not jive with, oh, I'm walking back from just playing golf. I'm just sorry.
Golfers are not a monolith.
Yes, they are.
Alan,
Sorry.
you know what I have in my garage right now?
What?
I'm not at the course. I take my club, I just go out on the river and just turn it into my own personal driving range. Like, seriously.
You know I'm teasing you, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, Alan, what kind of activities would you expect Adrian?
But think about it.
Basketball.
Does it jive with the kind of political statements that gotchas that you have made? You know, I won't even try to recreate them. But yeah, you sons of bitches. Oh, sorry, I gotta go. I've got 18 with my other pals at the country club.
Nice.
He's gonna go
Have a
take the
great
cultural
time.
sensitivity course first.
Yes.
So, Alan, my joke is, why does O.J. Simpson like golf? It's because he gets to hit something white.
With a black man playing golf, you know.
Actually, the balls are multicolored, so I got some orange balls, some white ones, some red ones, some green.
As long as you still got your balls.
Only golf I don't
So
have.
are you trying to say with the choice of colors of your golf ball that you're supporting the rainbow community?
Hey,
Is there a subtle message that we should get from that statement?
every ball is equal to each other.
He's an
Equality.
equal opportunity
Yep.
whacker.
Yep.
Ball whacker. Yes, thank you.
Equal opportunity. Each ball get
Well,
You get the whack. You get the whack.
Adrian, I can't promise that in the future, that if we disagree on a point, then I will resort to ad hominem attacks and call you a golfer. I'm sorry. It's just too funny, actually.
deal.
It's an onomatopoeia that is a word that sounds like a sound, right?
Yeah, come up here it is. Yeah.
Monica, do you know what an alliteration is?
Yeah.
So sad. Simply say so.
Funny face, Freddy fell face first, 5 feet, 55 freaking floors.
I have big news, everybody. We just got something in the mail. We got a new Canadian tuxedo. All right, everyone, PTR. Got a new Canadian tuxedo in the mail, guys. I'm collecting them.
Why is Canadian significant?
I don't. That's just what I know them to be called. I don't even know why they're called Canadian tuxedo. Just denim.
That's the way it's cut.
I know it's the set. The denim set is considered a Canadian tuxedo.
Oh, look at you!
No lie,
Thank you.
I thought you meant a literal tuxedo, and I was like,
It's a Canadian tuxedo. It's denim.
That sounds like a slur to me. You're definitely rocking the cute housewife look.
You love it, right? It's cute.
No lie, I thought we were talking about you. They got a new cat.
Yeah, Jarl's a Canadian
Oh,
tuxedo.
awesome. Canadian Jarl himself is a Canadian tuxedo. No, but a tuxedo cat is also very cute. That would be cute.
Yeah, tuxedo cat.
A Canadian cat. It'll meow.
Black cat, but not a tuxedo cat.
It's too funny.
What was the joke I forgot?
It's gone, baby.
It was a white joke. It was, yeah.
As long as they're like gonna dance like lawnmower.
It's a Canadian joke, honey. We're saying that if a A tuxedo cat came from Canada, it would meow like, hey. That's all he said. Meow me. What are you talking about?
Let's talk about like lawnmowers from traffic crashes.
That's cool too. We can talk about that.
Alright, this Clubhouse Karma and I are gonna fight.
Actually, now, excuse me, Monica, I have the definition of a Canadian tuxedo. A Canadian tuxedo is a slang term for wearing denim jacket or shirt paired with matching jeans, creating a denim-on-denim outfit. It originated in 1951 after singer Bing Crosby was denied entry to a Canadian hotel for wearing denim, prompting Levi Strauss to create a custom denim tuxedo for him.
Nice.
That's a good story. So we can give Jarl a hard time about how prejudiced Canadians are that they don't let Americans wearing denim into their hotels.
Wake it up!
I think the credit is due to marketers at Levi Strauss who used comedy as derision in a super effective way that lasted generations.
Well, absolutely. They saw. Bing Crosby was huge, and they saw an opportunity to make money off it. Thank God for capitalism.
And Vero's supple breasts continue the tradition to this day.
I'm fucking screaming! Shut up,
Derisive, you stole that.
Hold on, Derisive. You're about to get removed from the room because A-Tech called Vero a cunt earlier and he got tossed. So be careful. Too much flirting.
A-Tech needed that though, honestly. He was doing way too much on me.
He was doing odd. He was doing.
Wait, the Sudanese guy?
Derisive, would I be correct in saying that you stole the supple breast comment from the original Airplane?
I did see the original Airplane recently, although I don't remember that line in particular, so maybe, through, my subconscious.
Yeah, you remember, what's this, Robert, I forget it, Robert Hayes is sitting down, the stewardess, he's sitting with everybody, telling them his life story. And the one older woman.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Those golfers, they're such snobs. They just.
Don't get derailed. Airplane joke.
Yeah, but in any event, so at one point, the woman looks at her and she goes on, and now her comments, oh, yeah, she's very attractive. And something, and the comment is pouting supple breasts.
Okay, yeah, that movie's good, and that word is just so funny anyway. It's so awkward.
It's funny. I didn't know how to feel when he said supple breast.
So he called you that name? I don't hear the word supple used in any other context. Am I wrong?
Let's look at the actual dictionary definition of it.
Yeah, H.I. called me a cunt in the chat. I have a screenshot of it too.
What did he do that for?
I think he got moved down or something, and it's just because, I don't know, he just started getting kind of rude after a while, and so when I pulled back, as politely as I could, I didn't call him an asshole, I didn't call you, I was like, you bitch-ass motherfucker, nothing. I was like, you know what,
French kissing of the dogs.
It's like with the French kissing of the dogs, and I was like, I would never go to your house. He's like, my wife would never let you in. I was like, oh, you made that fucking weird. I'm just gonna pull back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull back.
He's used to doing everything his way, and when he can't have it his way, he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
You're uncomfortable.
Okay, it's definitely. Anyone want to guess what the denotative meaning of the word supple is? It's not anything, by the way.
Oh no.
It's not how it's used. It's not how it's used connotatively.
Soft and cushiony, no?
No. So Okay, I'll read a few definitions. Readily adaptable or responsive to new situations, capable of being bench folded without creases, cracks, or breaks.
That's my breast.
Able to perform bending or twisting movements with ease. Easy and fluent without stiffness or awkwardness.
Yeah, that's not my breast.
Sounds like a typical Shipley's.
Alright, okay. No, I see with that athletics, aerobics and stuff. She's very supple.
Decide answers.
Answers for sure. Thank you, Derisa.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
That's funny shit, bro. It's okay. Oh my god.
Submissive. Callie's got it in the chat too. You want to read it? You want me to?
Supple.
You read it, Malika.
Go ahead,
Supple is derived from the Latin word supplex, which means submissive, kneeling, or humbly begging.
It's more like y'all are more supple for these breasts.
I'm trying to remember. Isn't suplex a wrestling move?
Suplex?
Yeah, isn't it when they turn upside down and drop them on their head, the suplex?
Yeah, that does sound familiar too. My goodness.
Hey, can I discuss the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, real quick? I don't want to move the goalpost. I know I'm moving the goalpost.
I want to talk about this too, John. Go ahead.
So I asked Grok, has anyone from Southern Poverty Law Center been arrested yet? Have any trials been set? Has anyone officially been arrested? Not one motherfucker arrested. Not one motherfucker. Why aren't their doors being punched in, kicked in? Why aren't they being dragged out on fucking camera like they did at Mar-a-Lago and to Stone down in Florida? Where are the fucking arrests, Cash Patel? Oh, it's almost Friday. He must be getting his drink orders ready. Hello?
In their pajamas with the like busting down the doors, the midnight raids.
Well, see, the problem is, Alistair, is that this DOJ and FBI are competent, so they're not just going to rush. They're not just going to rush in, as they said in the news conference. It's an ongoing investigation. So they've now served the indictment, and they will now continue to build their case and to get more facts, interview people, etc., etc. And when they're ready, we hope and we expect that they will make specific arrests with specific people. But I share your urgency and I can't think of another word. But I share your passion in this particular case. Yeah, it would be nice if we saw the Republicans do to the Democrats what the Democrats did to Republicans during the Biden administration.
Well, hold on. I don't want lawfare. I don't want persecution or vengeance or revenge. I want justice. The Charlottesville Unite the Right rally that Heather Heyer was killed at, ran over. Like, it was funded by the group that says it's anti-hate. Right?
Correct.
Southern Poverty Law Center has records that indicate it paid leaders of the Unite the Right rally.
Yes, Monica.
It's validating, Alan, because we've told people all along the number of white supremacists. The demand for white supremacists exceeds the supply. Gavin McGinnis said that.
Say that again?
The demand for white supremacists exceeds the supply.
Yes.
Right.
They have to manufacture them.
Everyone on the right learned about this one day ago, and of course instantly had a fully formed opinion about it, which I find not intellectually robust.
Hold on. Well, make your point and then I'll refute it.
So, I mean, there certainly is the narrative from the right about it's a problem reaction solution thing. Yeah, they created the problem so that they could justify the existence of their organization to keep existing, which seems a little too convenient. I'm going to sit back and wait until the details come out about this. It's another one of those things where the left has one version of the truth and reality, and the right has another, and they're both so dug in after learning about this issue for literally 5 minutes and knowing nothing about it. It's anti-intellectual all around.
Okay, so Charlie Kirk posted before his death, the Southern Poverty Law Center is a hate group. They've targeted fellow Americans for abuse and scrutiny because they didn't like that they had so much power and influence. 8 years ago, PragerU did a video, 5-minute video, on the anti-hate group that is a hate group, calling out the Southern Poverty Law Center and their shenanigans. So this is not something that's new to many of the conservatives that were paying attention, even though there are indictments that came out yesterday.
Okay, that has nothing to do with the yesterday. Like, you can say it's a hate group all you want. You can say you're a bad group. I don't disagree with any of that, but what you just quoted has absolutely nothing to do with they're paying people to pose as Pepsis in these groups or whatever. Nothing.
I'm a big fan of
Except for the second prong of their attacks.
We learned being in the laboratory and immediately shut the door behind us. Before I could even figure out what was happening, I felt no fear after all. Just Soldier Boy triggered the mechanism. A strange glow suddenly filled the room and told me it was enriched uranium. I thought I'd been locking superhumans in this chamber to run experiments, testing whether they could survive the radiation from the atomic bomb detonation. An ordinary person would be dead within seconds of entering this room. Before long, my friend began to run away. Furious, I tried to blast open the cell with my laser vision, only to discover that the door had been specially constructed to expose the beginning impervious to damage. Where are you going? I'm gonna go destroy any B1 that I find. Why? A bunch of kids fucking son. It was only then that I finally understood who he truly was. I had assumed Soldier Boy was accompanying me to the lab to search for the original compound V as a matter of father and son loyalty. What I never expected was that the whole thing was a trap made specifically for me. When we had walked in, I had noticed the bodies, countless of them. What neither of us realized was that the moment we entered, some unseen force had quietly begun to take hold of our actions, guiding us without our knowledge. Under its influence, I had spent the entire journey talking Soldier Boy relentlessly. I had dug up extra trivia and bribed his way into Dr. Bot's experiment. All that enemy towards him. Gives to us, which you don't know shit about. I hear the travel objectivity defined by parasite. Provided it is happy to the deep of join amongst yourself. Ryan, really lovely, the white ones. Dangerous I lost myself in the pleasure of mocking him, completely oblivious to the fact that he was leading me straight into an experimental chamber. By the time I realized what was happening, it was already too late. Soldier Boy knew that radiation couldn't kill me. He simply wanted to teach me a lesson. But what I never anticipated was that in my most desperate moment, Butcher suddenly appeared before me. He guessed in an instant that Soldier Boy was behind it all. Looking at me writhing in agony, he started to laugh. Would you play Butcher, Tiger? That's got a snake. No, he'd rather spend eternity all alone than likes you. If you did get the juice in you, I think that makes you a good Butcher. I could see exactly what he was doing, using this meeting to drive a wedge between me and my son. Butcher sneered that I was nothing but a pathetic wretch starved for love, that I lacked the spine to do anything except beat my own son Ryan after death. Only this piece of trash would stoop to something like that. When he finished, I laughed. Fighting through the pain, I forced myself to my feet. He's a liar. Because he's strong. Because he's my son. Son of God. You ain't no good. I told Butcher one day I would get my hands on the original compound V. And when that day came, it would be the end of all of them. I promise you, before I die, I'll fucking have you.
And that, therein lies the problem. And then that's compounded by the fact that they opened up fake bank accounts or bank accounts with made up names in order to anonymously funnel money that they receive from donations into the hands of those white supremacist groups And then worse, we're directing the leaders of those organizations on what to do and how to protest. It wasn't like, okay, we'll pretend we're someone else and we'll just give them that money and hope that they do it. They said they were telling them in Charlotte, do this, do that, do this. They helped them organize that. And so the moral outrage on top of everything else, which I think is warranted, is the fact that they propped that organization up in order to increase their donations and to increase a narrative that helped benefit their donations.
Okay. All right. So maybe that's what the charges are. All this will be adjudicated in court by armies of lawyers. So, yeah. I mean, I anyone who knew nothing about this topic 24 hours ago and then suddenly became a legal expert in nonprofit banking laws, I find very suspect.
Listen, all I know is that if there's anyone who knows anyone in the Southern Poverty Law Center or any other nonprofit, I am looking to make some money. I am willing to be the informant. Please and thank you.
Keegan, you stole my joke. You beat me to the punchline. I'm very upset.
But you're Armenian. They might not even take you in out of that. They'll take me in.
No,
listen, they'll take me in. Please give me money.
Actually, Keegan, Armenians and African Americans have worked very closely together.
That's my point, Alan. Why I'm saying white nationalist groups won't take you in, Alan. I'm saying I will be the informant for the white nationalist groups. They love me. They will take me in. I am their brother, and let's make some money.
Yeah, you know, you just rained on my parade. Here I thought I was going to get to like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you're right. I'm Armenian. They won't take a dirty Middle Easterner like me. It's so depressing.
All right, let's bring some new voices to the stage. Cowboy, Othello, how we doing?
I think we're really in the twilight zone. We got SLPC funding white supremacist groups in the same time that we're finding out that Netanyahu funded Hamas. Crazy.
And the CIA has funded so many others. I mean, Othello, when are people going to wake up? Because I know you're one of them who's already awoke to the idea that, guess what? The federal government and all their proxies, whether they're nonprofits or whether they're the three-letter groups, are not for American interests. They are for division. They are for control, power. We have to get rid of them, dismantle them.
I'm not so sure Othello was actually being serious or...
No, he wasn't. And no one talked about Israel for the last 2 hours, so we're not doing that bullshit.
That's right. No, that was very serious.
Big conversation, I think that's right. What do you guys do with the weather?
Just follow the money line to the Qatari banks.
Yeah, I heard that UAE, they're trying to put a wrench in the US dollar dominance. They're saying they're going to accept the yuan, which is going to create like a difficulty for the US dollar to remain.
Wait, what? Don't use innuendo. If you're going to say something, make a specific claim.
Sure. So I heard that the UAE, or Dubai, basically, they're trying to accept, they're giving, I guess, people in countries the option to use the Chinese yuan instead of the dollar. So they're trying to open up the market for the yuan. And in the process, it might be a little bit of a difficulty for the U.S. to remain dominant, especially for the petrodollar. That's what I heard.
Okay. I would like you to find a link to say specifically what you're talking about, because you're talking about a general idea. Dubai wants to be the Singapore times the Hong Kong of the Middle East. So I'm sure they want to be completely open, laissez-faire capitalism for any financial instrument. So that would be their interest.
Do you think that do you think the U.S. government should bail out Dubai and the Emiratis by giving them cash infusion for a taxpayer expense? Hello?
Is that on the table? I don't think they...
Yeah, it's on the table. Also, Trump is bailing out Spirit Airlines, our new national airline. Isn't that exciting? Go Spirit!
Yeah, I just heard that the deal fell apart with JetBlue, and now they're going under. I didn't know that.
No, that was years ago. Now there's a new deal. But guess who owns Spirit Airlines? A bank. They owe the money to the bank. So the bank is looking for a bailout. It's not the airline that needs a fucking bailout. It's a bank bailout.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you know, the other thing I've heard is lately there's been this big resurgence about how Gaddafi was actually a good guy, and the reason why the U.S. killed him and went against him is because he was trying to undermine the petrodollar. And what this particular person in this video reminded me of, and reminds everyone else, is that he was funding terrorism throughout the Middle East. He attacked the Lockerbie jet crash. He was responsible for that. There was some other flight that they hijacked, and another plane that they brought down. He was cruel to his own people. They had the police. If you spoke up against the government, they would arrest you, torture you. You might be killed, or you might be let out as an example to anyone who spoke up against the government. The list goes on and on and on, and he openly declared war against the West.
God, it sounds just like what the Biden administration did to all the January 6ers who were just trying to protect their liberty. Hello?
Yes.
They say that about Saddam also. They say that he was threatening to sell oil to Europe in euros instead of dollars, and that's why
Yeah. I mean, and it's all, well, they really didn't hate him. They talk about how benevolent he was, that you could get free education, you could get, all of the benefits, quote unquote, but looked at another way. The only education you could get was through his administration. There weren't competing colleges. You got your education through him. The population was entirely dependent on he's being painted as this benevolent leader now. And really what's behind it is his son wanted this positive PR campaign that's being brought up.
Alan, I hate to bring the bad news to you, but his son has been killed. You're not up to date with your news about Libya.
I know they killed his son. Now, did they kill the other son?
No, the other son wasn't in political contention. The son that was trying to become the next leader was murdered.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me Google that for you. We came, we saw, he died. A.K.A. Hillary Clinton, a.k.a. Caesar.
Yeah. I'm gonna send an email to the University of Wisconsin for a potential program I want to do. I'm not sure if I want to go for my higher studies, but something tells me if I want to do it, I should do it now.
Yeah, never wait on education. Just, if you finish your undergrad, go straight into your graduate degree. Just don't wait. There's no reason. Just go all the way until you reach the limit.
I should have done that when I had the chance, but I just got my couple bachelors to try working. But you know what it is? I want to do my higher degree now, especially with all this AI and everything. I want to be able to integrate it properly. I have a really good use case for a lot of stuff. So we'll see.
I, have been doing a lot with AI, and Meta has recently acquired an AI company called Matu, and you can build apps in it. I mean, with a prompt, and they're good apps. You can build websites, flyers, sheets, anything with basic prompts, and it'll extract the information from your website, from your Facebook profile, from your Instagram account. So, I mean, like, all these software developers, all these web designers, graphic designers, those jobs are fucking dead. Dead. Do you know how big of the economy that is for people for the past 20 years that have been working in digital marketing, etc.? It's over. I mean, you just can't compete.
There's a creativity factor being taken away, right? So yeah, okay. On the hardware end, Alistair, there's a guy, Rick Beato, Beat with an O. And now he does music videos, but his claim, which I kind of agree, and I'll tell you why, that eventually the technology used to run all of those AI models, that the computer powering for the home computer will increase to the point where you won't need these huge data centers, and you won't need their computer to run the AI models. Right now,
the most exciting thing that is going on right now between the United States and India is the drama of technology engagement, which is incredible. Let's remember, even though I've got only some attention, Prime Minister Modi hosted every single one of the dominant technology companies, every single one, for 3 full days. He gave his
response with the 4 of them linked together. It took about 2.5 seconds to get a response, start getting a response from the AI he was running on those 4 programs. So what that means is ultimately it'll go the way that music studios went. It used to be you had to go to a studio with $500,000 of recording equipment to get a quality recording that was ready for the market to be released as a record. Now, hardly anybody goes to a real studio anymore. Everybody does it in their home studio, and it's this guy's claim.
Have you heard the John Kitover band, Alan? I started my own AI band. It's called the John Kitover Band. I'm publishing on all major platforms. Suno.
But thank you. You're not the only person.
See, Alan, this is, as like a music consultant, I talk to musicians every Friday, Saturday night at my favorite bars, and I show them how to create AI music and how to create different brands, either associated or to completely create new music brands. And so this is the problem with complainers, is they don't understand that they're already behind they're behind the times, and they need to become more creative and expand their creation and stop complaining. Hello?
Yeah, that's the whole point, right? It's all about the creativity aspect right now. And then the other part will be integration with our lifestyle, right? So for example, I work in the auto industry, and there's a company called Nuance or something. I don't want to say the name, but there's a specific way of where you sit within the car, you hear a specific audio tape or audio. If you listen to one station, the other will listen to another station on the radio. You can hear different things. So now the next part will be adapting the technology for the users, right? The user interface with AI. But right now it's all about the creativity. They said, and a lot of people are talking about do it now so you earn your name and you earn your fame and you earn your wealth. Because whatever reset or whatever is going to happen, at that time you'll be in a higher position than the average person. So I don't know.
So like everyone's like running for this. It's sort of like the new gold round. So I'm just putting it to work.
Yeah, I mean, I this is why I kind of like in 2026, I'm like, you want to go to college to do a master's degree? Why don't you just do something? Because you're going to spend a lot of money putting money into the school and the teachers' salaries. And those teachers are already behind because AI solves basically all problems. It's just really a question now of like organizing the people to use the AI for productive purposes. For example, the Iranians, if 100 senior scientists in the Iranian regime had a team of, let's say, 3,000 sub-junior, scientists and developers, researchers, chemists, etc., they could actually probably go fully nuclear within like 30 days and actually prevent a ground invasion and a full regime change. But they're too stupid to actually do that, because, I mean, we've killed all their leaders. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is, Alan, let's go into business and start the new Alan AI Music Corporation. What do you say, Alan? Because you spend so much time here talking. While we're talking, we could actually be creating product and distributing it and hypnotizing hundreds of thousands and millions of people with Alan AI music. And we could usher in a whole new era of recloning old music and just making it our own exclusive IP and delivering advertisements with our incredible AI Alan derived music. What do you say, Alan? Are you ready to make more money?
It's a tempting offer. I don't have my Don Corleone voice right now.
So, Alan, I don't know. Do you know what the Charter of Medina is?
No.
It's the Constitution of Islam that Muhammad put out. You should look into it, and you can realize that it's the exact same recipe and instructions to start a mafia gangster, organization with a Don at the top, with 10 captains, sub-captains, your soldiers. It's an org chart. That's what the Constitution of Medina is. And it's so easy to debate Muslims now that I finally figured out what the Islamic Constitution is, the Charter of Medina. Once you know that and you realize just how unfair and ridiculous it is, it makes Muhammad look like the biggest fraud and scammer of religious history of all time. Just look into it. Go to Wikipedia, type in Charter of Medina.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I'm really interested in seeing that. That makes a lot of sense. Because when you look at it historically, when you had like the Mongols, in interaction with their attack on the Mongols, they were successful because they were always doing things that like 3 soldiers, 1,000 soldiers, 10,000 soldiers, etc. Well, like when you look at why is that? It's basically the organizational strength that they have. It's really nothing more. Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Well, I always understood what Islam was before hearing about this, but not
who, me?
Either you or him.
Have you read what?
The Godfather book.
I have, yes.
And what he discovers is that a lot of the businesses that the Don is helping and giving protection to, that the Don would initially go and he was the one who would be threatening those businesses anonymously. And then he goes in, he would go in like they would start giving this shop a hard time. And then the Don would go in and say, I hear that, this other group, you're having a hard time. We can make that stop. Just pay us protection money. And then they would get protection money from that group. And that's how he built up the business. You create the problem and then you provide the solution for it, which is exactly what the Southern Poverty Law Center did. here, we're going to fund these groups, and then we will be the solution for it. Look at all of these racist attacks. Give us money. So it's a shakedown. That's all it is. But yeah, I gotta read it. It was cool. What was it called? The Congress of Medina. Well, it's here. Anyways.
Well, is Zed still here? No. Oh, everybody left. Anyways, I wanted to say one more thing about the Charter of Medina. The Quran is the propaganda of Islam. The Medina Charter is the political science apparatus of the Ummah, or the in-political group against the world. And all you have to do is read the Charter of Medina to fully debate a Muslim, and you don't need to go any further with your life. You could stop right there and feel completely content. Because let's say you're at a city council meeting and there's a group of Muslims in the community that now want to build a giant mosque and get special taxation or some type of special accommodation. If you want to debate them legalistically, all you need to do is pull out the motherfucking charter, the 66 amendments of Islam, or the 72 or whatever the number is, and go line by line and show how it's a mafia organization that uses blood money and intimidation and no legal judicial system whatsoever, no jury trial, no judge. It's just God and Muhammad. They decide. And if you don't like it, it even says in there, you have to abide by the fact that you don't like it. It's so fucking insane and stupid. And when you compare and contrast it with the historical legacy of jurisprudence, the Magna Carta, the Constitution, etc., all these incredible like Enlightenment documents that the West has created to value the self as opposed to Muhammad's Ummah, it just makes you realize that Muhammad is a fraud, a scam artist, and that the entire religion is based off of mafia, gangsterism, intimidation, principles, and tactics. It's just fucking right there in the charter. So you could debate all the religious, spiritual, historical stuff like Ezekiel. You could go into all the bullshit that's in the Quran, but every Quran should have to have the Medina Charter in the beginning to explain the historical, legal, and political science legacy that Muhammad set up in his scam. So, I would love for Migzad or a lawyer to actually, use the charter against Islam legalistically in, a debate, because a Mohammedan can't stand up to the fucked up laws and the dictates and the all or nothing statements of the Medina Charter. I rest my case. Hello? Aurora. Are you prepared to be my sorceress's apprentice?
I'm really good at being the sorcerer's apprentice. Obviously, I've done it before. Actually, I've had apprentices myself.
So I just want to say something about the title of this other room that I'm in. It's called Are Relationships on Clubhouse Real? And I just want to say, no, they're not. And in fact, many real world relationships that you have in your own personal life are also superficial and not real. And there are a lot of highly annoying people out there. I'm one of them. It's called a HAP disorder or HAP syndrome. Highly annoying person syndrome. And that's one of the reasons why we're not successful in life, because it turns out that highly annoying people get shunned and pushed away because they're highly annoying. But it doesn't.
It's actually not highly annoying. You just need better marketing and the right partner. That's the truth of it. Maybe a little bit of like softening the extremely masculine energy that you exude, calm it down and make you more successful. But
I don't think it. See, the thing is, I don't think that'll work because it's a very crowded field of very general bland people. And I think if I want to be successful, I have no choice in this environment but to be super stimulating and make all or nothing statements that supersede. Oh, my friend is here. So what'd you think, my friend, yesterday about that interaction with Sam Rosen? Like, I thought that was, pretty interesting. What'd you think about my projection analysis about ad hominem projection?
Yeah, I think it's very true. And I think that I will say this, the more that I love myself, the less desire I have to be a jerk to others. In high school, in college, in my early 20s, even my early 30s, I think that I was much more of a jerk. And I think that I often did project. And I think that, we do project onto others. And I think that's true. I heard Sam this morning, he was flying off the handle again. And I think that he's just embraced that character at this point. He's just like happy to be a clubhouse crash out boy. And it's sad, really. I like Sam. I don't really have a negative thing to say about Sam. So I like Sam. He doesn't like me. And that's all there is to it. He might even like me. Like you said, he's not even talking about me. He's probably talking about himself. He doesn't even know me well enough to like me or not like me. So he's just projecting. It's just pure projection.
And I don't say a thing. Let's start for the info, the Medina stuff. Congress of Medina, I'm gonna look at it.
Yeah, be sure to read it line by line and then think about it through like Western lens or just what's fair. Meaning, like, if you get a proclamation from your new warlord that says you will contribute to our wars or we'll kill you, but couch it in like mystical verbiage in the last sentence, it's such a scam. It's historical and it's shocking. Where you're like, what? This is the real Muhammad. This is the Constitution. This is the law. This is Mohammedan law. This was his first attempt at declaring law. And when you realize that this is what people in 2026 are still going off of, the Medina Charter, you're like, just figured something out. Because I like to argue about God and the prophets and the stories, etc. But no, now I'm just interested in the law. Let's talk about Mohammedan law, and everything else you say, you can just shut the fuck up right now until we get through the law. Shut the fuck up until we get through the law. Done. And then you realize that's the only debate. All the other stuff is just spam. It's just spam.
That's not trying to get the upper hand in power. Like when you're talking, debating with one of them, there's always trying to get the upper hand in power. And like you said, it's just like the same thing, over and over. They have the same statements. It's like a lawyer, 100%. It makes sense what you're saying. Is what I'm trying to say. Like because like I'm coming from India, so we have this like whole philosophy, culture of question and answer. You can ask questions, you get your answers, and you can debate. Like that's inherently Indian, and also Western too, from like the Greeks, So like
Yeah, there's no parliament. It's only Muhammad and the Allah. So that's the other thing, is in the charter it says if there's a conflict, Muhammad is the sole arbitrator, or his believers. all non-believers, it's just incredible, the claims, the all or nothing statements, and how like a Muslim today will never even actually read it. They don't know it. It seems to me like if you want to be a Muslim today, you have to know nothing about the religion and the history of Muhammad. So that's one of the defining characteristics of faith, is to just be ignorant and stupid. See, I want certainty. This is what science gives us: certainty, not faith. And I'm not saying that faith doesn't have its place in religious practice and in creating fun and joy. But when you realize that Muslims are all or nothing bullshit artists, fraudsters, and scammers that want to make you an out group to their in group, they're ignorant. They don't know that there is no in group, out group. There's just the one group. It's all connected. And that's why I say it's a fraudulent, terroristic, mafia, gangster religion dedicated to pernicious jurisprudence. No justice, no transparency. Here's your fucking blood money. Now shut the fuck up or we'll fucking kill you. That's what it says in the Medina Charter. Hello?
Yeah, that's crazy, yeah. I just love having the fattest pussy in all of America. Makes me happy.
Are you sure about that? I thought I had the fattest pussy.
You might have me beat. Can you quantify like the fatness? I can do that for
you. Want me to PTR?
Oh, we are. Is this who we are? Is this where we're at as a culture?
Is this who we've become as a people?
It's crazy. Is that a mood statement or a mood statement?
The statement is mute.
I want some Parmesan, like something Parmesan-y.
Have you thought about scratching your scalp and then licking your fingernails? Hello?
That's crazy. Oh, Head and Shoulders. They're knocking at the door.
You know when you see those people out in life, and the dandruff is just all over their shoulders and their back, and it's like all over their jacket? They could be itchy. It's like, yo, are you aware of this? Like, who in your household let you leave the house like this in the morning? This is not a good look. And they're like working in Macy's, and they're like wearing a suit. They're wearing like a suit jacket in Macy's, trying to help you buy jeans, and they're covered in dandruff. And you think, "Excuse me, sir. If I needed help buying jeans, you would be the last person that I would ask." That's funny. I thought Jose was going to be into that statement, but he left.
He was off to get his Parmesan cheese.
He went off to get his dopamine.
Hello, Monica. Well, thank you for letting me bring up the Southern Poverty Law Center today. I was shocked because I knew that none of those people in the photo of all those employees in the meeting room at SPLC were arrested. I knew no one would be arrested. So I wrote up that Grok query this morning, and sure enough, not one fucking arrest. So isn't it kind of ridiculous? The fucking FBI will come on television and tell us about the fraud, the theft, the money laundering, the criminal activity of leftists funding right-wing extremist groups so they can conduct operations. But not one fucking arrest? I'm getting really angry. Like that the FBI is not arresting anyone of note. Nobody of note. I mean, and we want to see the tears flowing from the eyes of these leftists crying out for justice when they themselves are hardcore manipulative criminals. Hello?
Hello. We have Anne in the audience.
You had a client that went on to commit mass murder.
So, Rabboni Shalom, it's Thursday, and I'm the worst procrastinator I know, but every time I try to do what I need to do, I'm always met with this voice and the sound that is like, you know, basically Clubhouse in the real world. You know, I hate to say it, but it's always like a black woman saying, well, what the fuck you for? It's like, well, why the fuck you think I'm calling you? Hello? What are you gonna do that for? Why are you doing that?
Oh, I don't have to be here until 2:30. What a relief. Maybe I'll go buy a doobie.
This, which does absolutely have major health ramifications. Smoking does, whether it's a vape, a cigarette, a pipe, it doesn't matter. But if you don't mix your psychedelic highs you could get if you read a mystical book, am I right or am I wrong? Hello?
I think you're right, but I feel like I just use it as normal medication to like remain calm. You know, I have to teach.
No, dude, that's not what it is. It's the same thing as Clubhouse. People here who are sober, they use Clubhouse to generate the dopamine, and cannabis users use cannabis to generate the dopamine. That's why I'm saying, if you kill 2 to 3 to 4 birds with one stone, Rabboni Shalom, you spell the name YHVH, you know, or YVHW. Hello?
Yeah, but I don't have time to read a book right now. I have to go teach a driving lesson.
Then don't smoke. We save it. That's what I'm saying.